What's up, folks? How's everybody doing? Man, all kinds of people showed up early, huh? Let's see what we got. Andrew popped in. Latra, what's up? Mike J. Hey, Mr. Behold. Burgers and dogs and chuck steak. Oh my gosh. And dogs, yes. I have a dog that doesn't bark a lot, but he does bark. When he gets going, man, it's hilarious, though. I'm okay. I'm doing fine. I was having technical difficulties Friday. I almost wasn't going to do anything at all. But I'm good. Chris is like half asleep, bless his heart. I hope everybody is good. And Chris, I hope you're doing good. I hope you guys are all doing good. Let me flip the old YouTube on too. Here we go. See what the crowd's saying. But yeah, I hope everybody's doing fine this weekend. I'm gonna do what we did last week. I'm gonna show a couple of the ones the murder mystery ones kind of deals. The first one's sound. You may have to. It's got sound. You just got to kind of turn your sound up a little bit. So, and then the second one, I should be okay too. You may have to adjust your sound on that one too, because the older videos, she was still messing with the volume. She still has issues now, but it's not as bad. Yeah, I figured you had problems. I know a lot of people did. My son left work early because the west side, Hilliard, the whole town lost power. Now we have trees down. They got windy a couple times and more windy during the evening when that last bit rolled through. Now we're just getting what's that left that's kind of rolling around. But yeah, I know a lot of people, it's like Lotus. She sent me pictures, man. Wow. Tennessee, certain parts of Tennessee got slammed. We need to check on my brother. I didn't realize how bad because I didn't look at the pictures until later today. I go, Dad, we need to get a hold of my brother. He's down there by the Georgia border. And she'll show up. And if she doesn't, I know she's got the grandchild this weekend, or she's with the one of the grandkids this weekend. So we may not see her, or we may see her. Who knows? Yeah, and Florida wasn't the only one that got slammed, dude. Florida they got slammed, and they got slammed hard. I mean, that whole area was crunched. I mean, those winds were crazy. I watched a lot of it on live streams. I'm sure a lot of you guys did. I'm sure Chris did too. But I couldn't believe how bad Georgia got it. South Carolina got it pretty bad. Tennessee got it real bad. But the flooding that went from Georgia up was insane. So it did a lot of devastation on its way up to us. Yeah, tornadoes. Yeah, no, Kentucky did. I believe Georgia got quite a few. I think South Carolina had a couple, and some of the Appalachian Mountains up around Pennsylvania were supposed to get tornadoes. Now, I kind of stopped watching early this morning, so I kind of lost track. But they were all over the place. I mean, that storm did damage all the way up. I mean, it did damage here, but not like anything below us. So did you guys get a ton of rain, Chris? I mean, yesterday was more or less just a constant, steady rain. It wasn't like there would be times it'd be real hard, and that was a lot of it was because of the wind. And then this morning it rained lightly for most of the morning, then slowed down. It's not raining now. We had a bunch of rain. Yeah. All day and night. Yeah, I figured it did. You probably got most of it. Because it seemed to veer up underneath us, and we just kind of got that. But I'll tell you, last night, I know after we got done streaming, me and Gemma got done streaming, about 1 or 2 o'clock, man, you could hear it howling out there. But it lasted about an hour, and then it got real quiet. So I figured the winds were done. But when I got up this morning, there was crap everywhere. But yeah, that was a big one. We're going to still be hearing about stuff for a while. They'll run it for about a week, then they'll get all quiet about it. And it's sad because all those people down there. And I pray for them all, man, because some are not going to like what they come home to. But yeah. So anybody else have anything exciting? Mike went and trained cadets, and Latro was eating steak. What have you been doing all day, Chris? Watching shows, taking it easy? I kind of got up this morning, ran around. Yeah, I bet you weren't happy. It was probably nuts. See, it doesn't bother me too much because I can't, when I don't have this, I just go get busy, do what I can without the electricity. Yeah, I'm sure it sucks. Well, I know it sucks, especially when you're in the middle of the street and it goes out. I kept waiting for that to happen there with Gemma last night, Friday night, because I'm telling you, there was a couple times they got to howling during the stream, and I thought we were going to lose. I could watch my internet flicker. Hello, Tim McKee. How are you? I'm in upstate South Carolina. I went out over my city. Yeah. We managed to do burgers and dogs. Your power is still out. So are you using your phone? I trained them with firearms. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm waiting for it too. I'll probably watch it tomorrow. Yeah, hi. How you doing? Not a new person, kind of in chat. I appreciate it. It's always good to see good people and new people. Welcome. We're going to show a couple of Gemma's old classics. Kind of funny because this one's pretty old. The ones I've been showing have been about 3 years old. And so it is her channel. This is just my way to promote some of her older stuff and kind of keep things going. And then Monday, I'm not sure of the times, but she's got a couple good things going on Monday. So keep an eye on your feed on your page. And I know she's got something on 11. She's going to do some spiritual stuff. So keep your eyes peeled. And then Tuesday, we'll be here for Tuesday Talk. Me, her, and Ryan. It's just going to be us this time. And then I should be here Wednesday if everything is good. Then Pixie should be here this Thursday, so that'd be at 8. And then good old Gemma and me on Friday. Hopefully it'll be a better day for me. Yeah, it was a rough day yesterday, Friday. I try not to let it show. Sometimes it's hard. My battery's fixing to die. Yeah, go make sure you charge it. You take care. Go charge that battery. Be safe, okay? And if you come back in, just let us know. But yeah, go take care of yourself. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping in, really. Appreciate it. J.L. Dixon season 2 starts tonight. Oh, does it? I'm not sure on that one. I'll have to ask my son about that one. I don't know how he keeps up with all that stuff. Hey, Ron, how you doing? Do you prefer Ron or Riley? I noticed the other night they were calling you Riley. So just let me know what you prefer. I'm good either way. I do appreciate you showing up. Hey, no, it's my pleasure too, dude. You have a good one. Like I said, stay safe. Have a wonderful one. Have a good Sunday. Hopefully tomorrow's a better day. They may change my hours again at the end of the next week. Oh, I hate when they do that crap. Especially when you enjoying the shift you got. Because I did like the Monday through Thursday shift, the 12-hour shifts. Riley, okay, sounds good. Thank you. And I'll make sure I tell Gemma that too, to call you Riley. Riley. I like that name. I think they are trying to give me a stroke. Hey, been there. In my first couple of years at Airwaves, I'd switch shifts. They were switching me constantly. My body was screwed up for a while, but then again, I don't sleep. It just took a matter of adjustment. Last season was really good. Walking Dead spinoff. See, I've lost kind of in. My son's into those still. I just kind of lost interest. Well, I got tired of zombies. This is what happened. Yeah, he likes Riley better. And some people do. That's like Ron is a popular name, so Riley's probably a good fit. That's like when people say Steve, about 5 of us turn around. So I always try to go by Steven or Stephen Lee or Ghost Dragon or Ghost or Pain in the Butt, whatever comes first. Yeah, I enjoyed their show last night, Riley. That was a good one. Yeah, poor Ryan sounds like he lost internet. That sucked. It's not about zombies, never really has been. I know, but I just get tired of seeing the zombie things. It's about survival. But yeah, I just kind of got burned out with all that stuff. And I get like that sometimes, Chris. So a lot, and most of the times, it's just I get busy. You know, I do a lot of stuff here, and when I wasn't living here, I was always on the go, doing everything. So I'd get into a show and I'd watch it to a certain point, and either I'd lose interest in it, or I just get too busy and fall so far behind. I just gave up. And those shows I just gave up because it will take me forever to get caught back up. I lost Wi-Fi too. It's very slow. I too lost Wi-Fi. It's very slow. Yeah, bummers. You're up there way north too, aren't you? Well, you know what I mean. You're up there by Canada. Now, do you have Wi-Fi? Do you have a provider? Are you running off of like Verizon or T-Mobile or somebody, or are you using Elon's Starlink? I heard it's kind of expensive. Yeah, Tulsa Kings, I got to get caught up on. I watched the first couple episodes, but I got busy again. Now, I didn't lose interest in that. I like Stallone, so yeah, I will catch up on that. I'm just trying to catch up on other stuff now. Riley or Ivy, Avery, however you say it, is what my friends call me. Okay, we'll just call you Riley. Now that we know you prefer that, thank you. I don't want to call somebody by a name they don't really go by, so thank you for telling me. I'm glad I asked. That's mostly guys tonight. Where's the women? Where's Ed? Well, like I said, I think Edna. It's only on episode 3 as of tonight. Okay, yeah, I got to get caught up, so that shouldn't be hard. Is it season 2 or still season 1? It's season 2, right? Or season 3? Am I that far behind? So I lose track. I make my own. Do okay. So that shouldn't take me much to get caught up. Cool. Yeah, I get crazy. I'm lucky I caught Penguin, but I was making sure I was going to watch it. I made sure I'd catch that. And there's a couple of other shows I'm watching. Some anime stuff that's been live action that I'm enjoying. Yeah, where the girls? Oh, they'll show up. Like I said, Edna, I believe, is most likely with her granddaughter or grandkids or with family. I believe is what she said. And as for everybody else, I'm sure probably Vixen will show up soon. Though I think Vixen had plans this weekend, so she may not be here. Now, Jules and everybody else, they just usually pop in. And Batmom, they just pop in. So I just go with the flow. And that's okay. Yes, it is. I usually pick up once I start showing the videos, too. If it's a good one, a lot of people hang around. I know a lot of people ghost and come back, and I appreciate that. I can't believe the views I'm getting lately. I appreciate it, folks, more than you know. It all goes for Gemma. This is all done for Gemma. Rings of Power and Fraser are the only other ones I'm watching. Now, Giles is watching Rings of Power. He's liking it. He says he likes it. Just couldn't get into it. And I don't know why. But then once again, is I'm interested when it comes to shows, because if I know I'm not going to make it through the long haul, there's Edna. Hey, now, did you have your granddaughter this weekend, honey? We were literally just talking about you. You were probably listening anyways. How you doing, dear? Finale is Thursday. Now, Frasier, I wasn't a big fan of the show back in the day. I thought it was kind of snooty, kind of like Steinfeld. I wasn't a Seinfeld fan. I don't know why. I just couldn't get into the show. My humor is just as dry as his. What shows do you like to watch, Edna? Had fun at the Enchanted Bush. Oh, you did have her. That's great. Did she say anything? We still need to talk. So when you get a chance, give me a yell and we'll work out a time for us to talk. I'm glad she wore you out, though. There's nothing like being with the grandkids. Actually, I don't know if you saw last night, Edna, because we saw you say you'd be back. I never saw you come back. So I figured you got busy, but they said you came back. But Ashley was in the stream last night, and it turned out my grandson, Anthony, I call him Ant-Man, he came in. He's my little Godzilla fan. Yeah, 4 is a magical age. It is. 3, 4, 5. 5 is when they start getting a little snooty. Start driving you crazy a little bit. That's when things start getting really interesting. Now, would you say once they go to school, they're kind of not your kid? That's what my mom said when we went on to school. When you go to school, you're not going to be my kid anymore. I mean, you're still my kid, but it's just not going to be the same. Did you like anime? I would write for 6 hours on what's wrong with that. Hey, I don't like all anime. I like the older stuff, but I like all anime. Like right now, anime is better than comic books. I hate to say it. I'm a little... Now, there are some good storylines going on with some of the books. I'm not a Marvel fan. Marvel kind of blew it for me years ago. I still follow certain characters, but other than that, and DC's kind of blown it for me for the last. If it weren't for a couple things that were going on, I probably would have totally walked away from comic books a long time ago. My kids were always good, and my grandchildren. That's because grandma spoils them so they get a little rotten. My girls were more of a handful than Giles was. Giles was the quiet one. Sammy was my crazy one. Ashley was my girlie. Sammy, man, she's crazy. Now the grandkids are just like them. I hate to say it, but they are. I had a 9-year-old girl see my stock trading screen. Looks like Christmas. Well, we'll see what kind of Christmas you're gonna get. I haven't picked up a comic book in 25 years. I still read them. I still get certain books, but I've been a lot more selective now. I mean, it's just the writing. Some of the writing's just gone to crap. I pretty much stick with the graphic novels and stuff that I know I'm going to go read out of. But there's some anime out there that's good stuff. I don't care what anybody says. I've followed anime for a long time. Boys are way easier than girls. I'll have to agree with that, Edna. My 2 girls, when they fought, oh my gosh, it was months. It felt like they were fighting for months. Now, Giles, I can't say because he didn't have a brother, but us boys here in the house, we beat the crap out of it. That was done. We beat the crap out of each other, or scolded each other for about an hour, and it was over. Plus, we got all our craziness away from the house, where girls tend to bring it home. 3, of course, the number 3 follows me. You know, lately, my number's been number 5. It's like everywhere I go, I've seen number 5. Fives, fives, five, five. So I'm taking it as a good sign. Girls can be mean as spitfire. Oh, yeah, they can. Nothing worse than a woman's wrath. I'll say that for sure. You get 2 of them at each other, that wrath is even stronger. They take down trees, man. Worse than a hurricane. Almost. That's why I think all hurricanes and storms should be named after women. Period. No ifs, ands, and buts. I still have to cash the lottery ticket. That's how busy. Really, you still haven't cashed it? Just be ready for that tax, man. I don't know what the tax law is there. Here it's over $700. I think, right, Chris? It's over $700 you have to pay tax on. Maybe lower than that. I know when Dad won his $7, he had to claim it. Man, when you win the big stuff, man, they're waiting for you. They'll come to your door. They'll give us some money. We want our money. Hurricane does this win make me look bad? I was going to say something, but I'm not going to say it. I don't need Edna to beat me up. Right now, I'd probably be easy game. She just inducted into the Nursery Horror Honor Society. I don't know there was such a thing, but it's a good thing. Yeah, that's good. Nursing Honor Society. Hey, that's good. No, actually, it probably is. No, your fat makes you look. Your fat makes you. Okay, I scroll back to see it. I scroll back to see it, Mike J. Who called me in? He did. Because I thought you were going to be with your granddaughter all night, so I figured you wouldn't be in. But he called you in. Yep, he sure did. He actually kind of beat me to it, so. That's funny. Tell me. Now, like I said, when I played the first one, you might want to check your sound. The sound is a little better on this one, but some of these have really low sound. So you'll have to probably turn your mic up, your headset or your speakers up a little bit. That's a wonderful arm. Yes, it is. Well, oh, excuse me. Gemma did it last night. And then she did it. Then she was doing it for everybody else. She wanted to spend the night. Grandpa said next time. Grandpa was pooped. Grandpa didn't want to mess with her. Oh, let me stay. Please, Papa. Please let me stay, Grandpa. I can hear it now. I love you, Grandpa. Let me stay. I'll give you a big hug and kiss. Yeah, we always do want our kids to do better. And our parents wanted us to do better. That's the way it is. That's the way life is. And we want them to have the things we didn't have. And the opportunities that we kind of probably screwed up along our ways. So, yeah, it's only natural. Despite all the crap my kids have been through, I'm proud of my kids. I'm very proud of my kids, especially Samantha and Ashley. Giles is doing okay. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be even better once he finds a woman and settles down. It's important to treat our next generation with the next generations, because I'll tell you what, some of these kids today, they could use a good whooping. I saw a kid in the store the other day, man, the way he was talking to his mother, I almost turned around and backhanded him. Because my dad would have done it without even thinking. Well, he wouldn't have backhanded me. He would have smacked me in the back of the head hard enough to let me know it was out of line. That worked until my generation. I'm a mid-boomer. Impossible now. Nurses are the true healers, Mike. Yes, they are. I've had some great, fantastic nurses in my life, and I've had some bad ones too. But more good ones than bad ones. And the bad ones were told they were bad because I got mean with them. Hey, man, you're crossing the line. And they do way more than doctors just they do. I totally agree with that. If the storms were really named after women, we would get it. Tropical storm, my feet are colder, and the hurricane did this to me. Yeah, nurses have saved my life a couple times too. I know. Twice for you. I'd say a few dozen times for me. I woke up one time after surgery. I think it was after my neck, because that was one of the surgeries I went flatline on. And because they left me too long on the table, because the bones they got to replace my neck were the wrong size. So they left me all hanging open. It was pumping stuff into me because I kept waking up, and they probably overdosed me. But anyways, when I woke up, I look up and the lady that was standing over me, I'm sorry, I thought Sarah Palin was kind of cute. Said she looked just like her. She was looking down at me going, Mr. Davis, are you okay? I was like, holy crap. She's tough and compassionate. And you have to be tough as a nurse, because nurses take some crap sometimes too. They put up with some rough people sometimes. I woke during back surgery once. Then they put me back out quick. Yeah, I woke up a couple times during my surgeries. The last one I had, I told him, you better kill me, man, before you cut me open, because if I wake up, I'm going to be pissed. They pretty much, all of them after I woke up, like second. This one I woke up twice, and I believe that was for one of my hips. And when I woke up the second time, I go, dudes, he goes, you can talk? I said, dude, I can feel everything. You're killing me here. And they started pumping me immediately full of painkillers. And he goes, you'll go back to sleep. And I go, yeah, good luck. Next thing I know, I was in the, but he said he had to give me a lot. They almost flatlined me there too. I had an Android noise. I had actually in one of the, I was there sick. Was it just when they started using that, like the one you see Sheldon use in Big Bang Theory with the monitor on it and just kind of drove around? I had actually doctors show up like that. I was like, I looked at him and no, come in here. And he's like, no, I can't. I'm too busy. I go, whatever. I'm paying for a freaking screen. That was the only time it ever happened, just that once. Yes, Sarah Palin, the former governor of Glasgow. Yeah, I used to have a little thing for her. I thought she was kind of that typical MILF. I don't know why, but I always thought she was cute. That's getting her attitude. I'm not a Republican or anything. I just thought she was cute. I'm pretty much a neutral guy. I go a little both ways. I woke up doing the surgery and they asked for me and asked for more juice. I could believe that. I wouldn't. I would actually believe that. I've seen, I've witnessed, I've been like that. She's crazy as a June bug. Yes, she is. And I totally agree. I'm not disagreeing with you. Maybe I like crazy. I don't know. But yeah, I just thought there was just something about her. Yeah, I would believe that. Yeah, I totally agree, Mike. I think pretty much anybody that's had surgery would believe that. And now you quit laughing at me. Yeah, and I'm not. She just was like, I mean, this is a woman that could, hold her own when you need. I'm not like a woman that can hold her own. Not afraid to talk a little crap once in a while. That's we're talking about everything. Palin has the 50 cal AR. Yes, she does. She has respect. I've seen her shoot a gun, man. She's impressive. She can tag it. Yeah, it does happen a lot. I totally agree, Edna. I guess I'd rather wake up in surgery than wake up and find out that surgeon had left something inside me, which happens quite a bit too. I saw a video the other day, and I wish I'd downloaded it. The guy was talking about he went into surgery, and they gave him the wrong surgery. He was going in to have, he had to have tonsillitis. He never had his tonsils out. And they kept getting bad. Well, he's 24 years old. And so they figured, well, we're going to take him out. It's going to be a little rougher on you, but we'll take him out. And then when he came out of the surgery, he found out they took out his appendix instead of his, oh man, you talk about lawsuits. Palin is smoking hot. Yeah, there's something about her. Now, I haven't seen her for a while, but there's just something about her. There's a lot. There is that South Dakota government, forget her name. Oh, yeah, there's a couple of them now that are like, releasing in the news for unenlightenment. Oh, really? I didn't see that. The governor, yeah, looking. I think I did hear that earlier today. I just didn't catch the whole story. It was sometime. I don't know, when was that? A couple days ago? I mean, there's so much going on right now. It's hard to keep up with everything. But yeah, let's get this show rolling. You guys keep talking while I play. I'm hoping everything goes. I'm gonna try a different layout too this time. So let's hope everything works. Because StreamYard kind of beefed things up on me, and I think that's good. So let's hope it holds. I got 8 watching, and everybody who's watching, I appreciate you coming in. I really do. We're going to start the video, and tonight, I'm going to get kind of dark here. Tonight, it's Edith Thompson and Freddie Bywater. Did she use him to murder? Did she use him as a murder weapon to kill her husband, off her husband? I won't say the K word. And let me get things set up here. AR-15 is a weapon of war. Has no business on the street, and I'll bet I'm better shot than she is. Probably, I know you probably are. But I've seen some. My dad said one of his sisters, man, was a sharpshooter. She said his sister, man, could tag anything. He was always impressed. So if Sarah Palin walked by my house right now, I'd bark like a dog. Shame on you, man. Also, were reports of she having the baby. Yeah. Oh, I know you're talking about. Yeah, that chick. Yeah, that one's all messed up. I can't even think of her name right now. Okay, let's get this rocking. You guys keep on talking. Let me get a setup here. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Okay. Do this. Gotta get this up. Hold on a second, guys. Let me see if I get this going. Share. Here we go.
Edith Jessie Graydon was born in
Let me take this back a bit. Okay. Make sure it's going to go. Let me get you guys up here so I know where I'm at. Quick, get out of my way. This thing's in my way. One sec. And we're set up. Let me move me down here, and I'll get this thing rocking. Here we go. Okay. Let me get you back up here. Now it's going to do this crap again. And we're off.
It's really hard for people to donate.
I hope you.
And unfortunately, nothing that I'm into right now.
Hopefully, if you can.
Pays out yet.
Oh, it froze?
That will come, like with monetization and sponsors and all that.
Why did it freeze?
But right now, there's just nothing. And
One
It's
second.
hard.
It's playing here, but it's frozen there. Why is it doing it?
So I don't want to dwell on the negative. I am getting a
Hold
little
on.
discouraged. But let's
Let
jump
me
into
figure
Edith
out. I'm
Thompson,
going to
and
have to
I'll
do it
talk to you more
different.
about that towards the
I
end.
figured that.
Edith Jessie Graydon was
I don't know why
born
it did
in
that.
Dalston, London on December 25th, 1890.
Now it won't even shut up. There it goes. Let me switch again. Oh, my goodness. Why is it being like this? It should have worked, but it didn't. I don't know why. That's what I get for trying to do something new. Okay, here we go. Let me get back down to you guys. I screwed up my chat. Well, hello, Nicole Petit. Welcome. I hope I said that right. You have to forgive me. I'm not the greatest vocabularist. I don't talk very good sometimes. Okay. Let me get this situated and get that video back up. And welcome tonight. I hope you're having a good weekend so far. Let me get to this video. Yeah, I was going to try to use a different browser, but apparently it wasn't going to let it play, which is really weird. I'm going to have to do some finagling next time so I get that to play. Right? I figured it'd run better on a different browser. Sometimes it helps. Sometimes it helps. Come on, come on. It's growing half a century here. Okay. Here we go. Let me do this. Everything looks good. Let me take the sound. Sound. Okay. Now, give me here. Let me get it screen shared. You're not the only man, Mike. I was over in Ryan's stream over at Nighthawk last night. Edna, you need to check out Nighthawk. I'm going to send you a link later on, sometime soon. You need to check out this guy. You would love him. Anyways, yeah, I'm feeling a little better, hon. I was having a rough day Friday. Some physical issues plus some things here at the house was driving me a little nuts. But I'm good. Yeah, yesterday I think a little bit too was I had to take a medication I really didn't want to take that helps with the tremors. I was so afraid I wouldn't be able to talk at all last night. So I took one of the medications I really don't like taking, and it makes me all puffy and flushed out and dries me out. It's bad enough I suffer from, dry mouth sometimes. So it's either too dry or real too much moisture. It's either one or the other. But thank you. I feel better. And like I said, it was kind of a weird day yesterday. Headed out, go. Dog, kitchen, bedtime needs attention. Lacho, you have a good one, man. Take care of yourself. We'll see you around. Hopefully I'll see you Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. So have a good weekend. Have a good Sunday, sir. Be safe. And have a wonderful one, my man. Okay, let me get this going again. Okay, there we go. Share. Okay, is it shared? Let me make sure I'm on there. What did I get for? Yep, I'm good. Okay, let's get this playing.
I just want to let you guys know
Just
that I have a
just
lot
a bit.
of
I've
requests
got mine
coming in, and
good, so I hope that helps.
want to try to keep everyone happy
I
as
don't know
much
how I
as I
do that.
can. So what I'm going to do is the
Okay.
old time crime case that I've been doing once a week. I'm going to do once a month now. So this is the last one until next month. The reason I'm doing that is because I can only do 2 videos a week right now. I keep falling behind. I have so many other things going on that I'm going to talk about at the end of the video.
Okay.
I've been to Edith Thompson, and I'll talk to you more about that towards the end.
Okay, here we go.
Edith Jessie Graydon was born in Dalston, London on December 25th.
I really don't like to, Edna. Only because some of them really mess with me. So I don't like taking meds. But yes, I do take them if I need them. If I'm bad enough that I take them. Or I try to take something else instead. But yesterday was one of those days that other thing wouldn't help. So I had to take it. And it kind of messes with me. It kind of throws me out of whack. Yeah, I believe so. Hold on, let's get this going, you guys. But everybody have a wonderful one. Let me get this going.
5th, 1893. So a Christmas baby and a Capricorn.
And
Edith was the oldest of 5 children, and unlike most of the people we talk about in my old-timey cases, I just like saying old-timey, she had a really happy childhood and a pretty normal upbringing. She loved to act and dance. She did really well in school. She was described as outgoing and sweet with an infectious personality. She had a laugh that was simply contagious, and everyone just loved her. She was also very popular in school, and when she was 15 years old, she met a 19-year-old boy named Percy Thompson. Even though they were total and complete opposites, Percy and Edith started dating right away. Percy was level-headed and sensible, and Edith was super outgoing, romantic at heart, and adventurous. She was kind of this kindred spirit, while she dreamed of a knight in shining armor from one of her romance novels that she always had her head stuck in to come and whisk her away and take her on these romantic and fantastical adventures to foreign lands. Percy, on the other hand, was dreaming of buying a home right there in Dalston and having a wife who stayed home with the children while he worked and having some kids. A regular suburban dream. But somehow the two hit it off and they fell in love quite quickly. In 1909, Edith finished school and started working for a local clothing manufacturer. In 1911, she started working for a really large hat manufacturer that was still local, but she was known to be enthusiastic and hardworking in everything she did, and she very quickly rose through the ranks of this company. She actually ended up very quickly becoming the chief buyer for this company, and this was a dream come true for Edith because this meant that she would occasionally get to travel to Paris, the city of romance and love, right? On the company's dime because it was part of her job description as buyer. So she got these all expenses paid trips to foreign countries, mainly Paris, because that was the height of fashion back then. And still kind of is, right? I don't know. I don't know much about fashion, but so she was living the dream, all the while she and Percy were dating. And even though she was there on business, this job and these trips to Paris and wherever else did not help to contain her wanderlust and kind of settle her down. Edith was an adventurer, and it really fueled her adventurous spirit. And she always visited the capital and the cafes and poetry readings there in Paris. She loved going to the Eiffel Tower. Like I said, she was basically living her dream come true with this job. Percy and Edith got engaged in 1910, and after 6 years of being engaged, they finally got married in 1916. That's kind of a long engagement, especially for back in the early 1900s. Right when they got married, the couple moved 9 miles east of Dalston to a place called Westcliff, which was a really fashionable place to live. So, right in line with what Edith wanted and was doing with her life, despite marrying normal old Percy. Right from the start, however, and I guess it wasn't that evident when they were just both dating and doing their own thing, but once they got married and moved in together, friends and neighbors and loved ones of the couple noticed right away that it really wasn't a good match. Ethel was career oriented and goal oriented and wanted to continue working. She didn't want to give up her job. She did not want children, nothing that would interfere with her career. I don't know how she didn't see it coming that maybe Percy would interfere with her career, because back then women were expected to basically settle down and all that stuff. So Percy, like I said, he had a conventional job. He was looking to save for a house. He expected her to stay home while he worked the 9 to 5 and take care of all of the children, which there would be many in his mind. So maybe these weren't things that were talked about that back then before you married someone. I don't know what the criteria were for marrying someone back then, but nowadays I would hope that people would discuss these kinds of things before they decide to get married. I mean, one person really wanting children and the other person being adamant they will not have any, that's kind of a big thing, that could have been a deal breaker had they discussed that right from the beginning. Percy, however, told all of these people that were expressing concerns, like their friends, family members, and loved ones, that Edith would eventually, quote, come to her senses, end quote, and give up her career to stay home and keep house and mind the children, and that he would somehow change her mind about this. And also was convinced he would change her mind about wanting children. However, as of 1916, when they first got married and were first starting out, Edith was earning way more money than Percy, so they decided, at least Percy thought for the time being, that she should be the primary breadwinner, I guess. Like, they were both working and bringing in money, but because she was making so much and so much more than Percy, that they decided for the time being that she should continue her career, at least for now. In 1920, so 4 years after they got married, the couple went on a vacation to the Isle of Wight. And I can't quite figure out why, but they brought along a friend of Edith's younger brother, who was 9 years younger than Edith, and his name was Frederick Bywaters. I don't know. I really did look. It was kind of a rabbit hole as to why this guy tagged along on this holiday or vacation, but he did. So the three of them went to this Isle of Wight and were there for a vacation together. What we do know about Frederick, even though, like I said, I have no clue why this random guy who they seem to not even have been very good friends with was on a vacation with them, is that he once dated one of Edith's younger sisters named Avis, but that relationship kind of fizzled out very quickly. As I said, he was also a friend of one of Edith's younger brothers. I have such a hard time saying Edith's because I have a lisp, so bear with me. Sorry about that. No need to make fun of me. And he had just joined the Merchant Navy. So maybe this was a business thing. I'm moving on, Gemma. Like, I keep getting stuck on why this guy was there. Sorry. Frederick, and I wish I knew his sign, and Edith got along so well because, you know, he joined the Navy to get out and see the world. He had that same wanderlust ingrained into him that Edith had, that Percy did not. But somehow he and Percy did also get along fairly well in the beginning. Frederick would talk to Edith for hours on end and late into the night and early morning about all of the foreign places he was going to visit while being in the Navy. Again, he had just joined, he had not yet deployed, and he was really excited. And Edith would love to listen to him and imagine herself there in these places too. And they would go on these fantastic journeys in their minds together, just the two of them. Edith likened young Fred Bywaters to one of the heroes in her favorite romance novels. That's kind of how she thought of him, as this romantic knight in shining armor showing up on a white horse. Percy, for some reason, was actually the one to invite Fred to go and live with them when they got back from this vacation in their new home they had just bought, 4 years previous when they got married. Percy figured it'd be a good way for them to make some money because he figured Frederick wouldn't ever be there because he'd be deployed with the Navy or Navy training, whatever he was doing. And he and his wife could still have the house to themselves while also collecting rent from an absentee tenant, which, it makes perfect sense financially. I don't know why anyone would invite someone, especially a younger and good looking person, to live with them and in their home, especially while they're newlyweds. But okay, Percy. Of course, Frederick accepted immediately, and also, of course, he and Edith almost immediately started having an affair right there under Percy's nose. Again, the information's kind of sketch, but I don't know if it was because Percy actually found out that Fred and Edith were having this affair, or if he just didn't like the amount of time the two were spending together. Like I said, they would talk well into the night, night after night, about all these fantastic dreams that they had, these adventures they wanted to go on together. I mean, I think they really were much better matched for each other, and I really think that they were in love, but she was already married, and we'll get to that. Either way, Percy threw him out very quickly after he had just moved in. Percy and Edith had a really loud and violent fight over him throwing Fred out. Percy seemed to be convinced that after he threw Frederick out, that Edith would stop seeing him, they would stop seeing each other. However, they did not, and they met every chance they got in secret, again, right under Percy's nose, with him being none the wiser. In 1921, Fred went off to sea for about a year and did not return until September of 1922. Edith wrote to him almost constantly while he was away. She wrote about, their plans for adventure and all the things on her mind and her career, but what she most wrote about was her lack of love for Percy and how miserable and just discontent she was in the marriage, and that she missed him and wanted to be with him. This was 1920s in England, and while there was a lot more freedom for women in the 1920s than in previous times, divorce would still leave the husband getting everything, including a lot of her stuff, especially there were no kids involved. He would get the house, he would get everything. But on top of that, there was a stigma still attached to divorced women. Even if the man was the one doing the filing, even if the man was the reason he was abusive or he was a philanderer, an adulterer, he would still get everything. He was the man, and the woman would be left with this shame and this stigma, and she could have possibly lost her career had she divorced him. And she also wrote to Fred a lot about this as well. I forgot to mention too, please remember what Edith did for a living. She had this job that it was her dream job. I told you she traveled to Paris, she traveled to the United States, she traveled all over. She was involved in high fashion. If she was known as a divorced woman, she would lose her reputation and probably, most likely, she would have lost her job. And that was actually the main reason she gave to Fred for why she could not and would not divorce Percy, and why she did not want Percy to find out about the affair. This is basically why she said she's not just going to leave Percy for him, but she did express her love for him and her wanting to be with him, just that she couldn't. And she didn't know what to do. And she begged him to help her find a solution. This was all in the letters. She wrote in her letters to Fred that he must, quote, do something desperate, end quote. She also told Fred that, remember how conventional Percy was? He was like the white picket fence woman, barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen raising the kids while he went off to work his little 9 to 5. He comes home and she's holding a martini for him, dressed in her dress, full made up hair, and you guys know the point I'm getting to. So she basically told him, like, look, even if I wanted to divorce him, even if I wanted to leave, he would never grant it. And back then, the man did have to grant the divorce. No matter what, like I said, he could be beating her, which he wasn't. He could have been cheating, which we don't think he was. We don't know if he was. And he would still have to grant that divorce. So she was pretty much trapped in this marriage. I mean, I always believe love conquers all, and that's what's got me into a lot of trouble in my life, to think that if she loved him that much, she should have kind of just ran off and said, forget the reputation, let's move somewhere else. She had enough money that she could have probably gotten the same kind of job. But now I'm just going off in tangents and speculating because I hate when two people in love can't be together. Moving on, Gemma. When Fred returned from his year at sea, he and Edith went right back into having an affair right under Percy's nose. And Percy at this point thought that Fred had been out of the picture all this time. He was like, good riddance. This guy's off at sea. They're never going to speak again. He had no idea that they were corresponding back and forth through letters or what they were talking about, obviously. But they didn't even skip a beat. They went right back into seeing each other behind good old Percy's back. On Tuesday, October 3rd, 1922, Edith and Fred went to London's Piccadilly Circus to the theater. They just wanted to have a night out. Percy did love her and he did want, but he wanted something that she didn't. He wanted this stability, this normalcy that she did not want. Again, she had wanderlust. So anyway, the couple were spending some time together. Percy had no idea Fred was still in the picture, and they decided that they took like whatever a taxi would be back then, part of the way, but then they got dropped off and decided to walk the last few blocks to their house. It was a beautiful night. I guess maybe the stars were shining. Maybe Percy thought this might be a little romantic to kind of feed into Edith's romantic side. I don't know. But for whatever reason, they did decide to walk home the last few blocks to their house. As they were walking, a man jumped out of the trees completely out of nowhere in the dark and attacked Percy. Percy, of course, fought back, and during the scuffle, somehow Edith got thrown down onto the ground. They were walking home in a residential neighborhood at the time of the attack, so Edith started screaming at the top of her lungs, despite the fact that the attacker did have a knife and was trying to stab and attack Percy. Edith screamed at the top of her lungs, and I guess the attacker knew that eventually this was going to alert either neighbors, no matter how late it was at night, and someone was going to eventually alert the authorities. The attacker eventually ran off very quickly after Edith started this screaming. He just left her kind of laying there hysterical and in shock on the ground. But Percy seemed to be the intended target because before running off, the attacker did get in a few stabs at Percy, and he did end up stabbing him and hurting him. And the attacker didn't touch Edith at all. But Edith was in hysterics. Obviously, she just watched some random man jump out of the trees and stab her husband. And it ended up that he did stab him to death because Percy did die of his injuries. Despite all of Edith's desperate cries and screams for help, she was not able to do anything to help him, and he died before help was able to arrive. When the police finally did arrive, they started by taking statements from the neighbors, any ear witnesses, any possible eyewitnesses, and of course from Edith herself. Edith was in a state of absolute shock and hysteria. The investigators tried their very best to calm her down and, offer their emotional support. They had their arms around her. They were really trying. They felt really bad for her. She had just watched her husband be murdered by some random person for seemingly no reason, because it wasn't a robbery. The person hadn't taken Edith's jewelry or went through her purse or demanded anyone give up a watch or money or anything like that. The guy just seemed to want to attack Percy. Several neighbors said that they heard Edith, or a woman who they now knew was Edith, to be screaming "no" and "don't" over and over again at the absolute top of her lungs. And she also sounded like she was in hysterics and crying as she was screaming this. Eventually, Edith did calm down enough to be taken down to the police station to give an official and formal statement of her retelling of the events of that night. When asked by the police if Edith knew who attacked her husband, she actually stated that she did, and she stated that it was Frederick Bywaters, a man she had been having an affair with, her lover. She said she recognized him almost immediately, despite whatever disguise mask he was wearing and the fact that it was dark and he came out of literally nowhere. She gave him up right away. This led to the police immediately going and finding Frederick Bywaters and arresting him for the murder of Percy Thompson. When they arrested him, this gave them opportunity. They arrested him at his home to go in and search the home. They found hundreds of letters from Edith that she had written to Fred while he was off at sea. They knew she was having an affair with him because she admitted to it. However, there was a few letters, and I think, say out of like 200 or 300 letters, there were like 10 letters. And in these 10 letters, so not by any means the majority of the letters, and she didn't talk about it all the time, it was said that mainly letters were her droning on and on about her daily activities, her career, her adventures, how much she missed him, blah, 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 blah. But in these few couple handfuls of letters, she did constantly tell Fred in these letters that she needed him to help her do something desperate. She needed him to do something desperate. She needed him to help her to, quote, be rid of Percy, end quote. She also admitted to him that she had ground up a glass and put it in his mashed potatoes once and fed it to him, but the glass dinner had no effect apparently on Percy. And she also admitted to putting some poison into his food at one point, which also had no effect on him. But mainly, it was her kind of telling Fred to please do something, asking him to please do something because she could not get a divorce. And the authorities were shocked, and they were stunned because she had seemed so genuinely hurt, genuinely distraught, genuinely shocked, and she had given up Fred right away. So they were wondering, like, why would she send them to his house knowing that they were going to find these letters? Like, what was going on here? That's what it's going to come down to. Do you believe that Edith knew or didn't know that Fred was going to do this? And let's continue on and talk about it. When the police arrested Fred and brought him down to the police station to be properly interrogated, the thing they were mainly interested in were these letters that they had found from Edith, because under something called the law of consideration and common purpose, Edith was just as culpable as Fred for the murder, whether she had actually been the one to murder him or not. And under this law, Edith was arrested and charged with murder. Let it be known, though, that Fred proclaimed Edith's innocence. He said that she had nothing to do with it. She did not know he was going to do it, that she did not manipulate him in any way. She did not put him up to it. It was his decision because he wanted to be with her. He loved her so much, and he was tired of seeing her be miserable in this marriage to this boring, lame, and dull guy that she couldn't stand, and that didn't make her happy. He knew he could make her happier, blah, blah, blah. But the main thing to get from this is Edith, of course, proclaimed her innocence, and Fred did too. So just about 3 months after Fred had returned from being overseas with the Navy, The couple went on trial at the Old Bailey in London, and it was on December 6, 1922 that the trial started, and they went on trial together. So there was no doubt at all, and Fred even pled guilty that he had been the attacker, he had stabbed Percy and killed him. The main question here was, did Edith have anything to do with it? Did she put him up to it? Did she manipulate him into do it? Did she ask him? Did she tell him? Did she force him? What was Edith's involvement? Because according to her and Fred, she had no involvement. It came as a complete shock to her, which is why her hysteria and shock and devastation seemed so real, is because it was genuine. She didn't know. After researching this case and after the rest of what I'm going to tell you, I do in fact, I can't say I believe 100% she was innocent, because as I say a lot, I believe anyone is capable of anything if the circumstances line up just right. But I do lean more towards her being innocent. Maybe that's where she was leading with these letters, but I do think it caught her by surprise and he did it without her knowledge. But anyway, that's my opinion. That is not fact. So let's move on. So Fred stated at the trial, like I said, that he thought she was so innocent and he loved her so much he couldn't bear to see her unhappy anymore and decided to take matters into his own hands without her knowledge. That was his testimony, basically. The prosecution produced these letters that Edith had written to Fred and claimed that it was evidence of her involvement and of her arranging the entire thing. They also brought into evidence some newspaper clippings that Edith had sent Fred in some of these letters. Like I said, these letters talking about this with Percy were just a small majority, but she had sent Fred newspaper clippings, and all of the clippings were just random stories about people who got away with murder. The prosecution stated that the underlying tone of all of Edith's letters in general was of a disillusioned suburban housewife who was bored in her marriage and wanted some excitement and adventure in her life. The defense took the same letters and brought to the jury's attention that this was, in fact, it was when Edith was speaking of ridding herself of her husband, she was simply fantasizing about being the heroine in one of her romance novels, where the knight in shining armor, who would be Fred, came in and whisked her away. As I've talked about numerous times, this was a dream of hers. She was like a young girl with these romance novels. And the defense said that's all this was. This was just her telling a story, her fantasizing and wanted Fred to be a part of that fantasy, but she never actually thought he was some kind of murderer that would make this a reality. And the defense said the underlying tone of the letters was not of a master manipulator, some woman playing a damsel in distress in order to coerce her lover into killing her husband. They said that the overall tone was of a woman pretending to be a damsel in distress because she was playing out a drama. She was acting, as they had done many times before, when they would speak night after night, day after day, week after week, month after month, well into the middle of the night, and fantasize about running off together and fantasize about being the characters in her romance novels. So this was the defense. This was Edith's defense. I mean, come on. Her favorite romance novels, a handsome young Navy man comes and frees the damsel in distress from her marriage to Mr. Worky boring, right? I mean, I don't know. It sounds legit to me. Maybe I'm just naive. Maybe I'm just a Pisces who loves a good romance novel. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But it's not over yet. The defense also brought into evidence the fact that Percy's body was exhumed and there was no glass or poison found anywhere in his system, as far as they can tell. And they said that this should further point to the fact that Edith was making up this whole story to play out a romance novel. You know, like I said, the handsome Navy man comes in and saves her, and she added this to kind of give some seasoning to her story. Fred came in and took it all very seriously and acted without her knowledge and got rid of her husband for her. Edith's defense attorneys told her that because the burden of proof lay with the prosecution, that she definitely should not take the stand in her own defense. Edith, however, with her love for acting and her beauty and what she thought was smarts and her love for the theatrical and the dramatic, decided that she could woo the jury onto her side and woo the judge and even maybe the prosecution onto her side. And she absolutely insisted and went against the advice of her attorneys and testified in her own defense. Never a good idea, guys. Never a good idea. Edith absolutely loved all the media attention she was getting and couldn't wait for the chance to testify, to be the star of her own show, to give her acting chops some practice, I guess. This did not go according to her plan, however, and obviously she should have listened to the advice of her attorneys, because while being cross-examined by the prosecution, her answers were extremely inconsistent. They were very much contradictory, and she came off looking really, really bad. She kept getting confused, she kept getting very flustered, and she kept kind of lashing out a little bit, showing kind of an angry side that she did not intend to show. I promise you, as soon as I can, and it won't be much longer. But why don't you head on over to the podcast? I mean, a lot of you just listen to this without watching me anyway. Steve has a great voice if you know missing persons and mysteries. Also, go over there if you're not already, which I'm sure almost all of you are. The Denver International Airport, Bohemian Grove, Kayla Berg, and soon to be released Missing 411 and Fairies. I wrote all those myself. So I would love to hear your opinion on those scripts that I wrote. Just a little more support, guys, a little more in the comments. I would really appreciate it. I'm starting to get pretty discouraged. I mean, it's hard working full time on this and like nothing coming of it. I feel like, am I wasting my time? And I don't just mean money. I mean subscribers. I mean likes, comments, and people going over to the podcast to support me. So big things coming up. I'll keep you guys posted on all of it. I'm sorry if I was a little off today. I just have a lot going on mentally. It was actually a really great couple of days. I received some kind of upsetting news today. Nothing I can't handle, nobody passed away or anything, but something that got me a little bit down that I kind of have to deal with. So stay tuned for the disappearance of Eric Lee Franks Part 1. And that, let me tell you, I tell you that these are wild rides. This one is wild. Contact me if you need to, or if you have any case suggestions. I have like 15 that I have to do right now. So I do them as I take them, or as the research comes to me if something pops up. GemmaJadeYT@gmail.com. And if you just want to see my selfies, I just like posting selfies and I like using filters. So they're all on my Instagram. Check that out. I don't even have time to deal with Twitter right now. If you're on there, though, stay on there, because I am going to have to deal with that at some point in the future. The more followers I have, the more content I can do. Just like with Patreon, there's only one tier right now. It's minimal $5. You can donate as much as you want or as little as $5, and you will have access to that content. It's going to be pretty awesome, the things that I have planned. So without further ado, let me just tell you to be kind to each other. It doesn't cost anything, especially in times like these. The world is crazy. The United States is crazy right now. Okay. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for your support. Most people these days, and since the trial, who study this case and see what took place in the courtroom and read the transcripts and all that, do believe that without her doing this, that this was the turning point in the case, that she did actually come off as looking innocent and not culpable, because especially if that Fred was proclaiming that she was innocent, and the defense did a really good job at explaining away everything that she was writing in these letters. But like I said, people who study this believe that this was the move that actually got her in trouble with the jury. They believe that up until the point where she testified, she probably would have been found not guilty. Of course, there's no way to know 100%, but this is what they speculate. So essentially, she sealed her own fate. And on December 11th, the jury retired to go over the case and to decide on guilty or not guilty for both Edith Thompson and Frederick Bywaters. It took less than 2 hours for the jury to find Edith and Fred both guilty of the murder of Percy Thompson. Upon hearing the verdict and the immediate death sentence handed out to both her and Fred, she immediately became hysterical. Edith started screaming and fanning herself as though she was going to pass out. And while she was doing this, Fred was screaming at the top of his lungs and throwing his own fit, but he was proclaiming her innocence right to the very end. So they were both shouting about how she was innocent. She couldn't believe that the jury, after seeing her great show she had put on up there on the stand, found her guilty. And they were both sentenced to death, though. This had no effect on the court. Edith was taken to the Holloway prison and Fred to the Penterville prison. Both appealed their sentences and both appeals were denied. During the trial, the press kept a really close eye on Edith and Fred, and they were not kind to Edith at all. They were very suspicious of her. They did not trust her. However, for some reason, after she was sentenced to hang, that whole thing turned around, and the press began to be really sympathetic to her. And the media and the public actually started campaigning for her to not only not get the death penalty, but for her to be released and exonerated altogether. A petition the press started actually got nearly 1 million signatures for Edith to be released. While this was going on, Fred was continuing to tell anyone who would listen, including the press and the media, the public, whoever would listen, that Edith was in fact innocent and he had acted on his own. He was sorry he ever did it, only for the fact that Edith was now going to be hanged because of something that he did and she didn't know about. However, all of this publicity and public outcry over Edith's sentencing and her death sentence and her conviction, despite the nearly 1 million signatures petition for her release, it had no effect on the powers that be. And not only was Fred's conviction upheld, but so was Edith's, and she was considered still guilty, and she was still going to be hanged. Edith's mother, Ethel, even wrote directly to King George V and pleaded for mercy for her daughter, but this was to no avail, and the justice system, it seemed, had made up its mind in this case. On January 9th, 1923, Edith was sedated, led to the gallows, and hanged. Frederick Bywaters was hanged that exact same day at the prison in Penterton, and his last words were him proclaiming Edith's innocence. Even after her execution, Edith's sister petitioned for her sister to be found not guilty. She wanted her sister's name cleared. Everyone really believed in Edith at this time, especially her family, but it was to no avail. Her mother even wrote letters to everyone involved in the prison system she could possibly think of. She even wrote several more letters to King George V himself just to be able to go inside the prison walls and visit her daughter's grave. And she was turned down. The sister was turned down. Edith was guilty, considered guilty in the eyes of the law. No one was to visit her. That was how it was done back in the day. They were buried inside the prison. They literally spent their life, and I guess their bodies spent the rest of their afterlife, I don't know, inside the prison walls. This was just how it was done. And no, the mother could not come visit her daughter. And no, to the sister, she was not going to be found innocent and her name would not be cleared. Her mother, Ethel, died, and eventually her sister too, never being able to visit her grave or even to know where it was inside the prison walls. 95 years later, the Ministry of Justice allowed for the exhumation of Edith Thompson's body. Her body was then relocated to the City of London Cemetery, where she was put in the exact same grave as her mother and her father, finally back with her family. So that concludes this old-timey criminal, old-time crime case, the last one for the month, because I want to start working on your guys' requests. What do you guys think? I started off like, oh, I know where this is going. They're going to get together and kill the husband, the dull, boring husband, and run off together. But I don't know. Like, I kind of think maybe she didn't know. I think she was leading up to kind of manipulating him into killing Percy, but he went and did it before she was able to kind of fully reveal her plan and get him to do it. I think he acted, and I truly believe that, I guess 95%. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have more information? What do you guys think? Let me know. I just want to let you guys know that you can still donate through PayPal. I have no donations coming in, but it's okay. I know Christmas and COVID, it just makes it
Give me 1 second, because we've been showing 2 vids. I'm just getting the other upload ready. If I can get my screen to stay up. But yeah, Riley, yeah, I think she wants to offer him time. If he'll take it, he may come on and maybe do an hour or so talking about it. Now, he doesn't want to do a stream by himself. That's why me and him there for a while, it was just us when she had to stop doing Tuesdays. But I will be up to him. But yeah, usually those 2 topics come up a lot because it's his thing. But I mean, the guy's knowledgeable about a lot of stuff, but that is his specialty as far as, and a lot of other things. So yeah, it may happen. I don't know. He also is talking about starting his own channel. So we'll just have to wait and see. But, Riley, those subjects come up a lot. So I'm sure it's not going to be, forgotten about, because those are big topics right now. And yeah, I do believe that she had been grooming him for a while. And I do think she's just as guilty as he is, you know. And maybe he did act before she could really apply it. But I think she was kind of hinting to him from the very beginning, within their first stages of what I call love. She was already setting him up to do it. I was going to try to make the second video a little more paranormal. And I forgot, I can't find the, there it is. There we go. We're going to do, the next one we're going to do is Demon Encounters in the Forest. It's 3 years old, but it is an older one. And it's part one. Then next week I'll do another like crime one, then another paranormal one. I thought that would be a good thing. It's ready to go. So when we're done, let me catch up. Happy, I was you beat me to it. Yes, happy friend anniversary, Cindy Lee. It's hard to believe we've known each other for a year, at least on Facebook. We've known each other a little bit longer before that, right? Before Facebook, but yeah, I always love your memes. It was nice to see all those again. I have them all saved, so I hope you're having a good day there, Miss Lee, Miss Cindy Lee. People not, I don't use the word. People not being held accountable for their actions is what's wrong with the world today, and that is for sure. And that's why you see some of our children acting the way they do. He got good acknowledgement. He is an open mind. Oh, Ryan, yes, he is. Yes, Edna, that was a big thing back then. When you were sentenced to prison to life and expected to be off, they would, back then, you were, once it was the deed was done, they meant for life and even in afterlife. So they would bury you over there in the prison, and nobody could come and visit, nothing. Yeah, it was much later that they started allowing the bodies to be exhumed and put with families. I can tell that Ryan is a good investigator because he has an open. Yes, he does. He's a good listener. He listens. He observes. What if his ears are burning? Yeah, they might be. I'm sure he's might pop in. I thought maybe he was doing another interview tonight, but I'm not sure. But it is later. I mean, you got to remember he's an hour or two behind us. That's brutal. Yeah, it was brutal and cruel, but that's what they did then. You know, a lot of families, they, lost their parents to prison. And some of that, some of the people that got buried in there who probably passed during their sentence, their families probably never got to see them either until they were finally exhumed out of those prisons much later on. If the families ever the generations ever wanted to put the body. Because you got to remember, there's probably a generation of people that didn't even care and left the bodies there. So that's why a lot of those prisons are haunted like they are. Yeah, on here, and it would have only let me share 5 photos, so I picked out the ones I liked best. I like those. Those are great memes. It was a giggle to see them. I still have my Godzilla and the VW bus. I'm gonna print it. I was gonna print it off, but I want to get better paper. I printed it off on one paper and I didn't like the way it looked. I even got a frame for it. I'm just waiting to go get good quality paper so it looked nice. Yes, and back then they didn't. That's the way they were. But they're just as cruel now. But yeah, I wasn't a big fan when I read that a long time ago. I was like, dang, man, that's harsh. I mean, you'd figure after they might at least let the families take them and put them to rest. But no, when they meant you were spending life in prison, they meant it. Yeah, we are still. Not all of us, but there is a definitely evil is a lot easier to see now. Let's say it that way. but they all popped up, and there were a lot of memes. Oh, I bet there was. You figured, what, just of me or of everybody you've done? Because you do a lot of memes. I always get a kick out of them. I always like your real good ones. You do some good ones and remembrance of people and stuff, and I like that. Your birthday ones. I got a kick out of mine. She's silly. He goes, she's silly. So how'd you fare there? Your weather been good, Cindy? Cindy Lee? Has the weather been pretty decent for you tonight and today? I know that. Your area did get some rain. No, it's not hiding anymore. It's right in your face now. And you're being forced to take sides. If you know it or not, you are definitely being forced to take sides. You're being made to make a decision on what side you want to stand. And a lot of people don't realize that. Just yours and Gemma's and Pops. Yeah, I got his I saved his too. I figure I'd do him something nice one day. One of these days, I'm going to bring some old pictures of him on here. He looks like a Fonzie when he was young. He was a good-looking man. Wonder why I didn't inherit that. Just a few showers? That's all you got, really? I'm impressed. Poor Lotus, man. They got slammed. Man, she was showing pictures of Tennessee and Georgia and everything. Man, I was like, holy crap. And then Florida, man, my heart goes out to Florida. I tried to text, excuse me, my niece down there, and didn't get an answer back. So I hope they're okay. I don't know if Giles tried to reach out to my other nephew down there, because they got Giles and little Kevin's son got to be friends up here. He was up here. Oh, you forgot? Yeah, the ones you did for Little Man too. Yeah, that's right. You did ones for Little Man too. Our entire lives, we are given choices of right and wrong, good and evil. Yeah, but now it's kind of being to the point where you're going. You know what I'm saying, Ed. My uncle in Tennessee got flooded out. Yeah, Tennessee. Some of the pictures that Lotus sent me. I mean, bridges were gone. She had a couple pictures of people standing on houses. She said when she called me, voice text me before stream last night, she said that there were military copters everywhere picking people up off of roofs, out of boats. So yeah, it was pretty bad. And I figured from Florida, where it made land, well, even before it made, all of Florida got slammed pretty good in one form or another. And it just went, as far as I'm concerned, the bad stuff went South Carolina up the coast, and then the other half went right up and pretty much fizzled out over us, because we got good wind. I mean, when I went out to do a run this morning on our Meg Drag, which would be 23 High Street, there were like 4 trees down. Oh, the flooding. Yeah, it is. It's awful. You're seeing it too, Edna, aren't you? You guys have been getting tons of rain. Is that Asheville is devastated? Yeah, I wouldn't surprise. He said a trailer was floating by. Holy crap. Yeah, I've seen there's something. Like I said, she sent a bunch. In fact, my phone was going off during stream because she just kept sending me pictures. I'm like, holy crap. You know, smashing houses, boats, huge trees, like Matt. Yeah, and that's what it will do too. But you imagine the winds, when I made landfall, those winds down there were just insane. You know, they were saying they were average like 145. Man, I was watching a guy doing a chase. There was a bunch of storm chasers inside that eye wall. And that eye wall, that thing was huge. And the bigger it is, the more tense that, well, actually, the tighter it gets, the more intense it is. But that thing was cranking still. And there was one guy I was watching, kept turning back too. He, at one point, clocked 174 mile an hour wind. And when he did it, he was literally hanging onto his car, and there was stuff just flying by him. I don't know how they stayed there. I don't know how they stayed there. And then once I came in, it was weird because all of a sudden there was still wind, because he kept saying it's still pretty active for an eye wall. But it wasn't as bad. And then it got calm. Mudslides too. Oh, yeah. And you figure along the Appalachian Mountain, Tennessee and all that, you're going to see a lot of that too in there in Georgia, South Carolina. Now, Edna, is this still raining there for you, or did it finally stop? I'm getting ready to start the next video, because the next video is about demons in the woods. Yes, they do. Unfortunately, I can't. Not anymore, I can't. Rain stopped this afternoon. That's good. That's about when ours stopped. It stopped this afternoon. It's just been off and on now, just kind of like little light showers, but pretty much it stopped. But yes, they're going to need all the help they can get, from Florida all the way up to probably Kentucky. I don't know if Chris is still in here. I know all the way up to about the southern Ohio. But see, we were in a drought. I mean, I've seen Ohio dry. I've seen Ohio in a drought, but not like this. I mean, you would walk on the grass and it actually felt like it was breaking under your feet. And it's been a long time since I've seen up here that dry. All the creeks, I'm sure. Oh, those are usually the first things that flood right off rip in a situation like that. We've already studied rain for a week. I'm growing mold between my toes. That's gross. Last I heard, there was 52 plus. I don't know. Yeah. The count has gone up quite a bit. Now, the night that when it hit, right after it hit, they had 6, and I've watched it grow immensely since then, all the way up. I'm talking from Florida all the way up to Kentucky. The passing toll has gone up quite a bit. And it's up to 52 now, would not surprise me. They are calling for more rain. Yeah, you'll get a little bit more. And what's scary is there's another one down there that they're thinking that probably will form probably toward the end of this week. So we'll have to keep our eyes and hope that it doesn't come up the same way it did last time. But we are in that time of year too. So, but everybody watching and listening, I thank you for coming in. Well, before I start the next one here, like I said, this one's about demons in the forest. She does have a special thing going on. She really didn't fill me in when I talked to her, because we hadn't had a chance to really talk a whole lot today. We've both been busy. She's got the spiritual, the negative positivity going on Monday. So I think that will start at 1. I don't know how she's doing it, and I'm sure she'll fill us in. So keep an eye on her community column in her Facebook page, YouTube page. I'm sure if you got YouTube, Facebook, she'll let us know. But I think it will start 11, and she's really excited about that. And then we'll be here Tuesday for Tuesday Talk, me, her, and Ryan. It's just us this time. We are working on guests, which is cool, because 2 of the guys that Ryan is with last night, I was in chat, I both said they'd be more than happy to have us on, and wouldn't mind having us on their show. So hopefully that will happen. And then, so that's Tuesday at 1. And then me Wednesday night. Vixie will be here this coming week. So Thursday at 8, as far as I know. Then Friday with Gemma and me. Last I heard, a few families got stuck in mudslides. I've heard all kinds of stories all day today. You're going to hear stories probably for the next few days. But those 2 dams, Yeah, the dams failing was not a good thing. They're saying a total of 3 storms. Yeah, I've seen where they've got 5 out there, but right now there's 3 they're concerned about. But there's one that's supposed to come almost in the same direction this week. That Elaine or whatever her name is, whatever they named it this time, came through the other day. So we're in that hurricane season. So, and that water in that Gulf, anything that comes up through that Gulf is probably going to kick it because that water is really warm right now. It never really got the chance to cool down. Plus, people don't understand. People seem to think, see, like Tampa and all that, that ocean's really shallow. I mean, I was surprised when I went to Tampa how far you could walk out. I was shocked. I mean, there was times I walked out there and as high as it got was maybe my chest, and then it'd go right back down again. But that shallow water and being warm is just fuel. It is just nothing but fuel for those things. Yeah, and it does. And when you've had Wayne, like you've had, when that ground is soaked already and filled with dampness, it just makes it worse. Everything becomes weak, muddy. Yep. So if everybody's ready, we're going to go ahead and start this next one. I don't even know how long it is. 1 second. Get it up here. Yeah, stop. Why did I do that? Okay. This one is 43 minutes. So if you wanted something shorter, I can do something shorter. I just thought it'd be a good one. Let's find something shorter. I can do that like next week for the first one. Okay. What time is it? Oh, it's 1:30. Yeah. While I'm doing this, you guys talk. My internet is acting up again. I think everybody probably south of me is going to have internet issues off and on, Wi-Fi problems. I really believe that. Everybody I've talked to down in Tennessee, a couple of people I know in Kentucky, and having problems big time. One day, for about an hour or two, they'd have internet and then they'd lose it. Find something. I'm trying to do a crime one, then a paranormal one, or a paranormal one, and then a crime one. So I think the 43 minutes was a little long. Heck, you guys had me up until almost 3:30. Well, I never really went to bed that night, to be honest. Wednesday night, I didn't go to bed. I think I laid in bed for like an hour and didn't sleep, so I just got up and made coffee and got busy. But we stopped. It was what, a little after 3? Yeah. Let's see. I want to do the demon ones together because that's part 1. Let's do something. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I so didn't get my card pulled. It just floods. There's nowhere for the water. Yeah, it does. There's no, when it's like that. That's like when you got winter and then you've had good hard freezes and the ground's still real hard, and then you get a bunch of rain. It does the same thing. Okay, wait. Find something good. I wanted to do the demon ones too, but I'll wait because that's 43 minutes. I'm going to do that to you folks. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Dun dun. Guys want to watch the Denver International Airport one from 3 years ago? A lot of Let's see. Okay, that sounds like a good one because that's another one, and a lot of it's pretty much the same as it's always been. But let's go ahead and do that. Thank you for answering. Stop. Okay, I like this because they gave her one of those little blue boxes underneath this one talking about reptilian humanoids. It cracks me up. Anyways, here we go. Let me get it on the screen. Dun, dun. And then next week I'll start the next Gemma replays. I'm going to do the demon ones first because I wanted to watch that one again because I'm into the demon thing. Everybody's into cryptid. I'm still into things that go boom in the night. Okay, there it is. Share. Okay. We're going to start it. Make sure, let me know if the sound's okay, please. And I'm only getting a few hours of sleep for a while now. It was weird Wednesday night when we got off. And like I said, it was a little after 3 when we ended. I did a couple of things, came in here and came back in here, laid down. I just laid and looked at the ceiling. I said, I can't do this because every time I started to doze off, I started to rock and I kept catching myself really bad. I must have been rocking hard. So I just gave up and just got up. Said screw it and just stayed busy all day. Okay. But let me know the sounds good.
And if you're new here, just welcome. My name is Gemma Jade, but today we are going to be discussing something you guys have been practically begging me for so long. And I finally got around to covering like 5 of them. This is the first in the conspiracy theory line on the Gemma Jade True Crime channel. As I told you guys, I need a little break from the heavy, a little break from the savage. So let's get into the theories surrounding Denver International Airport. Denver International Airport is the largest airport by landmass in the United States. It's twice the size of Manhattan and occupies 35,000 acres of land. That is huge. It's located 25 miles away from downtown Denver. The airport opened way behind schedule and far over budget in February of 1995. Although DIA is larger than Chicago O'Hare and Fort Worth Dallas airports combined, most of the 35,000 acres is actually unoccupied flatland. The actual airport part takes up very little amount of space. For all the space that they have, it's like a drop in the bucket. The question started coming right away with why this pricey airport, which cost $5 billion to construct, was even needed in the first place. After all, Stapleton Airport was fully functioning and much closer to Denver itself, and it seemed to be much more convenient as far as what people thought.
I'm going to pause it real quick, folks, because I got to ask this question, and I didn't want to type it out. I wanted to make sure I got it right. Edna, when you started having problems with sleep, was this before your granddaughter told you what was going on or after? And then now I'm going to start it back up. And you can let me know. Yeah, see, I think that's a lot of cases right now. There's so much going on. Everybody's got so much on their brain that I know a lot of people right now. I've always had problems sleeping, so it doesn't faze me. But I know people who sleep good who have always slept good that are having problems right now. But Edna, if you can answer that for me, I'd appreciate it. If you started having problems before, well, hey Jason, how you doing? Or after your granddaughter talked to you about what she was seeing. I hope you are well, Jason Finch. Hold on, I'll show up in chat here in a minute. Gemma is just a 3-year-old Gemma. She's sleeping like a baby, I hope. Let me get this started again.
Of it, right? They're like, wow, Stapleton's way more convenient. Why are they building this gigantic monstrosity of an airport? We don't need it, right? It's a kind of a waste of $5 billion. Some of the justifications given were that the larger runways would cut down on wait times for travelers coming in and out of the new airport. and much less noise disturbance from planes coming and going daily as they do in the surrounding residential areas. So much quieter because it had much more space between the airport and the residential areas. So the owners of the airport, I guess the corporations, they actually never deny, not even publicly, the theories and rumors that surround them. As a matter of fact, they perpetuate them and totally play into them, which I think is super awesome. So let's talk about our first nefarious theory, which talks about who was actually behind the construction of the Denver International Airport. People tend to point to the dedication marker, which credits, quote, the New World Airport Commission, end quote, for building the airport. However, if you're thinking this is a coincidence, think again, because even the airport's website states that this company doesn't even exist. It's not a real company. So why do they have a dedication marker with the word New World Airport? That's a little close to New World Order, if you ask me, and a lot of them. There are so many, quote, strange markings, end quote, all over the floors of the airport, which a lot of people also think that these markings are connected to the NWO as well. These markings are said to represent a new strain of hepatitis that is going to be used in biological warfare to get the population under control so the NWO can microchip whoever's allowed to live, and also leaving only the most powerful and elite to survive. The next contrivance that has many conspiracy theorists thinking there's something villainous going on at this most aesthetically pleasing airport, I can't say that word, you guys know what I mean, is the airport's 40-piece art exhibit, including the Mustang statue, aka Big Blue, also known as Lucifer.
That thing has messed
the
up.
The 32-foot tall fiberglass sculpture with its glowing red eyes is said to represent one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Is it just a coincidence that the artist who created it was killed 2 years before being able to finish the statue when a piece of it fell and severed an artery in his leg? Despite the murderous Mustang's bad reputation, it continues to keep watch over all who come and go from this airport. Theories also abound about all of the extra and seemingly unnecessary space there at the airport. There's so much that's not being used, right? The most ominous theory, however, does not stem from the time capsule buried on the property, which definitely has symbols of the Freemasons and allegedly the Illuminati as well, but of the exorbitantly priced, never actually working, and still to this day abandoned baggage claim. The theory is that the baggage claim is actually a cover-up for the above-ground entrance to all kinds of secret tunnels and bunkers. Theorists point to the bunkers as being the exchange for the Illuminati bestowing the extra billions of dollars the airport went in over budget while constructing it. These tunnels are allegedly an underground layer of sorts for the Freemasons and the Illuminati. Some people also speculate that when some of the first and original buildings were constructed for the airport, they weren't built properly, but instead of tearing them down and starting again, the people who were constructing the airport just built over them. Like built a building over building. Does that make sense? So factually, there were at least 5 of them. And instead of knocking them down, demolishing them, the Freemasons took over and just built the buildings on top of them. And this is said to give them a great place to sit comfortably and hide and wait out the impending hepatitis virus that we talked about earlier, the biological warfare that's going to be produced by the elite to stop the overpopulation of the earth.
Yes, we've always done that.
They're taking over, guys.
Actually, there's a
the
lot
rest
more
of us during this biological warfare are just going to have to fend for ourselves and go on good old survival of the fittest. It is a fact that these buildings exist, and it is a fact that they were not demolished and built over.
Yep.
There's yet another theory, though, about who actually built and constructed these underground tunnels, right? So if it's not the Freemasons and the Illuminati, then who is it, guys? You got it. It's the lizard people. It's said that some of these tunnels lead directly to NORAD, which is the North American Aerospace Defense Command. And it could be true because it's located only 100 miles south of the airport in Colorado Springs. I mean, who would find this more useful than those evil alien lizard people, right? After all, they've taken over most of our elite, most of our beloved celebrities.
Changed over the years.
These bunkers and tunnels sure will make it easier for them to carry out their sinister plots against us humans while they totally take over the world. Total lizard people world domination. I mean, after all, like I said, they've already taken over and or eliminated most of the world's elite, our beloved celebrities. I mean, who's next, guys? And by the way, by eliminated, I definitely meant eaten. They eat them. Our final look into many of the conspiracy theories surrounding the DIA, the Denver International Airport, is the artwork and how it points to the apocalypse and the end of the world. The first mural depicts, albeit in very bright and bedazzling colors,
wait a minute.
a dead
Hold on,
girl
folks.
lying in a coffin, horrific scenes of trees burning, animals in glass cages, and how it points to the...
See that skull right there? I had one that looked just like that in the fish tank.
The apocalypse and the end of the world. The first mural depicts, albeit in very bright and bedazzling colors, a dead girl lying in a coffin, horrific scenes of trees burning, animals in glass cages, and crying children dispersing in all directions, seemingly trying to get away from the terrible destruction depicted in the giant mural. Another showpiece that's seemingly a harbinger of the mass chaos and destruction the Illuminati and NWO, and most likely those damn reptilians, are to help bring about, depicts a gas mask wearing soldier carrying a large firearm and sword wreaking havoc while a caravan of refugees flee his presence and narrowly escape the carnage he seems to be inflicting. There is a deceased child in someone's arms, sleeping children sleeping right below this soldier, and a small child holding a teddy bear and seemingly hiding, desperate to stay out of this monster's sight. This mural also contains the death of this soldier and many people celebrating right above his dead body. In my opinion, wildly inappropriate stuff to be looking at right when you're about to board a plane.
Now,
but if you ask conspiracy theorists, they will tell you that these murals serve a purpose, and it's to warn us of the death, destruction, and biological warfare that's coming our way. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I tried really hard to make it fun. I know I did a lot of reading from my script, but I had a lot of big words in there and a lot of things that I couldn't remember. So bear with me. I hope you enjoyed it anyway. You guys have been asking for conspiracy theories. There's so many I could have done on Denver International Airport. This is just a few. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. Share it if you would like to, if you thought it was good. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate all of your support. Please do me a favor. There are going to be some links in the description box. The first one is to my podcast, Strange Things with Steve Stockton and Gemma Jade. We took a 2-week hiatus there. We're going to be...
Hold on, let me get it all. That was a good short one. Yeah, it's hard to start when she's talking. I should pause it, but it's just a hassle. And I knew it was a short one. But yeah, they've built on top of buildings for years. That place is interesting. I believe that some of the paintings there that she showed. Now that video is only 3 years old, but I swear I saw somebody back there not too long ago. And some of those paintings had been altered. And some of them are gone. They removed some of them. But I don't know which ones. But he was talking, and I didn't get to see the whole video. I never went back to watch the rest of it. But yeah, that place is a trip. I was there once. And that was when we went out. We drove out. I think it's the second time we went out to see her grandparents. We drove out. We always drive because I'd rather drive than fly. And we went to the airport, and it was kind of trippy. But that was back in the day. It was before, a lot of this stuff really started showing up. Owls on her shirt. Oh, on her shirt, on Gemma's. I bet sinkholes start popping. Yeah, I bet you'll see a lot of that now, especially in Florida, with all the rain they've gotten, especially in that area. Florida's really bad about sinkholes. So you'll probably see them showing. In fact, when some of the flood waters start to really go down, you're probably going to see it a lot. I don't know. I've turned it off now. I can't remember what she had on her shirt. Did she have owls on her shirt? Ah. I can't wait to get new glasses. Those poor people. Yes, and you know it scares me because that sinkholes, and see that's another thing. People, I read an article earlier that on the east coast of Florida, that most of the water was nothing but sewage. That it was really, really probably worst areas with the sewage. I don't know why that was the worst part, but when you have floods like that, there's nothing but sewage in that water. Then you got down there, you got gators, snake. So those waters become even more dangerous even when they become calm. And the disease you'll hear, and it's like all these hurricanes, they never talk about all the people that get sick because they tromped around in that water and stuff. So yeah, I wouldn't go in unless I had Raiders. I wouldn't go in some of that water in some of those areas unless I had a hazmat suit on, to be quite honest. But yeah, you get down there and all along that coast, the gators and the snakes. And now you have anacondas down there and boas and everything else. That water is just becoming between the sewage and them. You wouldn't catch me walking in the water even if it was on a street. I just shake my head when I see them walking. Oh, I do too. Because I mean, that water's nasty. It's like I would end up going home and taking like 50 showers. You'd think that they would be warning. They do, but it's like when I was watching some of the feeds as the hurricane was coming in, there were still people out there driving around and trying to cross some of these bridges. And I'm like, what the heck, folks? I mean, there was one street cam I was watching. You couldn't even see the bridge, and all of a sudden you see these headlights coming out of nowhere off this bridge. It's like, what the heck are you doing? And that water coming across that top of that bridge couldn't have been an easy drive across. Like, what are you thinking? Man, no common sense. I just kept saying to myself, I hope while you're out there, it better be a damn good emergency to be driving across that bridge in that weather. Because I don't get it. And this is a person that has literally stood beside a tornado. It's crazy. Oh, yeah, no doubt. I've seen that happen too. That's not a pleasant sight. And on those bridges crossing that ocean, and the way that those winds and that water surge was coming is insane. Hi, Milos. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. You're from Siberia? Well, Serbia. Oh, well, hello. Sorry. Forget. Well, welcome. Hello. How are you tonight? Welcome to the chat. We're just kind of shooting the breeze now, talking about the hurricane that just came through here. Probably won't go too much longer because you guys wore me out last Wednesday. I don't know about wore me out, but it was nice to go long again. And welcome, Milos. If you don't mind me saying it that way. Yeah, it's almost 2 now. Yeah, I figured I'd hang out a little bit and then we'll go. I don't know if I'll go to 3 tonight. I kind of like to try to get some rest. If I can. I'll probably end up pacing all night again. But it was like this morning, I was up and up. I think it was finally almost 4:30, 5 o'clock when I finally laid down after the stream. I slept till about 11. But I was up a couple times too. But at least I tried to stay in bed other than getting up and go to the bathroom and checking on Pops. Not bad. Not bad. We're in the middle of a flood. Oh, really? Yeah, it's bad everywhere. These storms are hitting everybody all over the world. And pretty bad there, too, I take it. Yeah, we just had a hurricane come up through Florida here, come all the way up to where I live in Ohio. It tore it up. Tons of rain, tornadoes. Now, do you get tornadoes there in Serbia? I don't know if you do or not. Yeah, Europe is getting slammed pretty hard with rain too. Now, yes. Well, welcome to the channel. This is Gemma's channel. I do a stream on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Wednesdays and Saturdays. Midnight streams here in the States. Gemma is back. We're also here on Tuesdays. So join us Friday nights at 7:15 here in America. I don't know what that time frame would be for you. We're here doing, or Gemma's here doing oracles, and then she's here Tuesdays at 1 for Tuesday Talk with me and Ryan. So yeah, feel free to join us anytime. She got something special going on Monday, I believe. So if you're sub, watch her feed, and we'd love you to join us or her. Yeah, my internet was buffering earlier, and I can't believe it really didn't affect the channel, the stream. I thought for sure I was going to lose the stream, but yeah, the weather is crazy everywhere. See, people don't stop to think we're getting stuff here. It's just as crazy over in Europe. They're getting their share of some crazy ass weather too. Pardon my mouth. But the weather has been insane. I mean, look at the sun right now. The sun is just, it's in its cycle. It should be calming down here pretty soon now. You've got a second moon getting ready to come into view, and they're definitely calling it a second moon. Actually, it's a big old comet, but it's a pretty good size that will be passing. In fact, it should be passing here. Well, you should be able to see it now if you have a good telescope. But around, I believe, October 8th, you should be able to see it. New Year is peak solar cycle. Yes. Next year will be the peak solar cycle. Right now we're in a high. We're on what they call it. I drew a blank. But yeah, and then we'll change a little bit. Not enough sage in the world to fix this. No, there's not. There's not. Nah, it's beyond that now. It's sad, but it is. All you can do is just kind of protect where you're at now and just do your best. And I know exactly what you said. But yeah, Eddie, you need to let me know sometime during the week when we can talk, because that question is important. When you realize if it was before or after, may change some of my thoughts, because I think your lack of sleep has something to do with her telling you that. You gotta keep growing it. Can you cook with sage? I don't think you cook with sage, can you? I never tried. I never heard. Really, I didn't know what really sage was until about, actually, before I got involved with it. I knew what sage was a long time ago. But I thought you could cook with it. Yeah, it's been crazy for me too, Edna. Don't feel bad. That's why I said just give me a text. Tell me when there's a good time. We'll set up a date, and that way we both can make sure we have that time free. Because I know it's just as crazy for you as it is for me. A lot of you folks probably have crazy lives too, so I get it. That's what I thought. Italian cuisine, yes. I thought I sometimes. Yeah, it is very healthy. Yeah, I thought it was. I should have known better. I wouldn't think. Considering my mom almost married an Italian guy, and man, when she was alive, she could make some city. His mother taught her how to cook Italian food. And they ran a restaurant. It's there. You can't see it through all the clouds. Yeah. I put in my nose to the run. I put it in my nose to rinse my sinuses. Oh, really? Interesting. I guess you could do that. But yeah, yeah, somebody says you can see it now. Well, now I'm hearing I know that when it comes around the 8th, you'll be able to, it'll be during the day. So we're hoping that it gives a good show. It's so antibiotic. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. And why didn't you tell me that? One of you women, you're up on that stuff better than I am. I just knew the basics. Sorry for the dead silence there for a second. I'm glad AK stopped in. It was good to see him. And again, for all the folks who are watching in the background, hanging out, you got something to say, please stop in and say hi. But we thank you for ghosting. I appreciate it. Gemma does. Now we're just in the kind of later in the excuse. Now we're kind of into the end of the chat, just chatting it up, chat stream. Yeah, I know it did, but I didn't know you could use it for stuff like that. I could use some more sage. Mine is getting too small to burn. Well, send her some, Edna. I got a bunch that she sent me, and I kept a couple for myself, and I'm going to send it to Ashley because my daughter could use it. She said she could use some right now, so I'm going to send her that. She always sends me a bunch, and then Arisha, Lotus's sister, sent me one, so I'll send her some of the sticks too. As you can tell, I've been walking around with it at night, kind of cleansing the house. I haven't been feeling good. Like I said, ever since I got sick those 2 weeks, I felt off. So I've been, that's like last night and the night I couldn't sleep. I literally walked. Yeah, Paul Mono. Oh, yes. I've got like 10 of these. Gemma sent me a bunch of them. So, yeah, I love this stuff. Also I like these too. Hold on. You hang them and burn them. I love these. And it smells just like it. She sent me some of those. Here. Yeah, I like those too. I made a little rig to hang them on and burn. So I like that. Yeah. Some weird bug chewing holes in mine. I had to cut it back. Got a good sized bunch though. You use dragon blood and royal. Yes, actually, I have dragon blood back behind me. A ghost dragon uses dragon incense. It's a fact. But yes, I do. Now the royal hashi, how you say it, it's a little stout for my nose. Yes, it is. Actually, you might be interested in these since we're talking. Okay, this is usually I have this on, but I'm not wearing it tonight. But I have this, which is very nice. Gemma sent me that, but Edna will be happy. I have hers on. Hey, Barry, how you doing? This is one Edna sent me with the black. This is one Arisha sent me. This is really nice. She sent me this. I have a bunch of crystals back here too, but I like my this. See this? I meant to show this off Friday night. This is nice. I like this. The dragon head. This is nice. This is. Sorry, I'm still learning the names. I collected rocks, but I never knew all this. This is solidite. I love this. This is beautiful. How you doing, Barry? Are you doing good? I love this thing. She sent me this, and then she sent me the beads. I was wearing my wrist last night. I was clean, so I didn't want to put them back on earlier. Like I said, I got Edna's on, the dragon. I love this thing. I do wear this a lot. I wear this and that a lot. Like I said, Arisha just sent me this. And this is the same thing as the dragon head. It's just not polished. Ooh. Yeah. And then she got me some other stuff in there I use. I also have black salt. Then I have sea salt that I use around the house. I also use Himalayan salt. I also use take a bath in it once a month, soak in it really good. Actually, I like it better than Epsom salt. Yes, they're doing. I'm glad you're doing good, Barry. I'm glad you stopped in. We're just hanging out. I'll probably go for about 2:30. Since Edna kept me up until 3 last Wednesday. That's good. We had fun. I like our late nights when we go that long because I always seem to leave with a good smile on my face. It's always a good night. Unlike the night not too long before that. I left that night a little frustrated. You know what I'm talking about, Edna. I'm sure Latra and everybody else does too. Cindy. That night I was a little disappointed in a person, but it's okay. We all have our times. Thank you, Edna. Thank you so much. Always picks on. Yes, I do, sweetie. Yes, I do. Thank you, dear, so much. I appreciate it. I'm sure Gemma does too. She's getting ready to do some stuff with the members and Patreon. So everybody sit tight because I've been pushing her, but she's working into it. Thank you, Edna, so much. And I'm sure Gemma thinks it too. Thinks you too. I'm sure she does. Well, she might think about it. Yeah, I can't believe I got a red star, man. I've just been going. So I appreciate it, Edna. I appreciate all you folks hanging out with me at night, too. And all the folks that come back and watch the replays. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. It means a lot. It really does. And it means a lot to Gemma. You guys have kind of made this goofy old dragon feel good. I never thought I'd get 5 people to watch, to be quite honest. So, and I try to make them fun. I mean, that's what it's about, right? You guys talk paranormal and cryptids. So I try to spice up the Wednesday spooky time a little bit more. I've got a couple good stories for next. And now that we're getting into Halloween season, I'm going to try to really ramp it up for you. I got a couple more demon stories. And I'm going to give you, when we get close to Halloween, I'm going to give a lot more details about my encounters with things with the particular demon. Not me, I wasn't here. I want to be here when she makes it. Oh, she makes it now. I think she's doing real good. Her views has gone up quite a bit. And TikTok's helped. So that's good. I just see her shorts do a lot better. So, folks, please watch her shorts. Comment. Because the comments, leaving a comment, even if it's just a or a heart or a diamond, those count. And that helps the algorithm. So, yeah, please check out her shorts. I may slide a few shorts in on her, too. See, I got access. So, I may do a couple shorts and surprise her. So, and download a couple shorts for her. Have a couple ideas. I may even go on a couple rants. Yes, I do too, Edna. I do too. And I'm sure you know that. That's why I'm here. Why I stick it out with her. She's got potential. I see potential. I'm going to help. That's what I do. I gave up on myself years ago. I pretty much reached every goal. I have to say that even though I really never had a bucket list, if I had a bucket list, I pretty much did. I probably, other than a couple of things I would like to do, I pretty much done everything on my bucket list. If there was one, if I had one, I've had a good life. I've got to do some fun things. I've got to do some scary things. I've got to see some weird stuff. I see weird stuff every day, every time I walk out the door anymore. And that's just things that people don't see. But I've had a good life. I can't complain. Though we still do, don't we? Oh, I try. Ed, and I do. And she's worth the help. She's helped me too, believe it or not, in a lot of ways. You're doing great on the streams. Yeah, you know, you say that. I was really shocked. I was actually shocked how well I was accepted when I did that SOR with her, spaced out radio with her, and then she, lost internet. Sometimes I think she did that on purpose, but that's all right. I had a good time, and I really was shocked by the reception I got. And then when I came in and started doing the list for her, I was shocked by the way people treated me. I love you guys. You guys have been fantastic. You guys have been a big help for me. Like I said, this has kind of become therapy. I mean, I know I don't talk great. I know I have good days and bad days. You folks make it worth it. I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for her and you guys, to be quite honest. I love seeing new people pop in and come and go, and we have great conversations, even if it's not about paranormal, just about life. I love this. I don't know if I have a lot to offer, but see, I don't think a lot of people understand that I'm really not the kind of person that likes to be in the limelight. I'm not. This is me doing this is a big deal because I like to be behind the scenes. I'm that kind of guy. I'm not saying that I'm not thrilled, because this has been a blast just doing this and being with her on these streams. But this isn't really not me. I'm not one that likes to be out in the limelight or out in the open. So this is big for me. But I've enjoyed it. I've had a blast. You guys make it fun. Like I said, we've had great conversations. We've had some bummer times on here too, a couple bummer times. But yeah, it's all about. You guys make it so much fun. You come in, you chat with me, you listen to what I got to say, you make fun of what I got to say. I don't have to break out the killer crickets or the plague out. I'd walk a mile in your shoes to see what you see. Only a mile. I'll tell you what, hon. Sometimes you don't even want to walk that mile. Because sometimes some of the stuff, I mean, there's days that I see great stuff. I mean, when I'm seeing things that other people are just truly fantastic. And then I have like 4 days where it's just nothing but what is going on in this world kind of looks when you see the things that are following people and attach themselves to people. And it used to be Ever since that really bad, you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure people know me. Not too long ago, it was like every day I was seeing this horrible stuff following people. Where ever since that happened and slowed down, it kind of picks up and slows down and kind of picks up. But I'm seeing for the past year now, it seems, well, actually since COVID, I've seen more of the, not as much as the good that I'd like to see, that I still see it. I appreciate it. You mean come and stay? Yeah, come and stay. I'll make room for anybody, if that's what you mean. But only if you can cook. I get tired of cooking and asking these guys what they want for dinner every day and getting the same, whatever you want to make. If I had it my way, I'd make waffles every day and pizza every other day. Or I can make pizza waffles. That's an interesting conversation. Has anybody thought of a pizza waffle yet? With bacon on it, of course. No, I'm just being silly. But no, I appreciate it. And, it just amazes me, though. I was in another chat, it was a couple nights ago, and I was seeing people that I hadn't seen for years in that chat, and it was like, holy crap. It's nice to know some of them are still around. And then there's people that have been like me, you, Edna, and now Cindy Lee, Chris Jarvis. All you guys have been hanging around with, since her beginning and even before that. You, Jarvis, I keep forgetting that Jarvis, I knew Jarvis before I really knew her from Steve's chat and everybody else's chat. Then I have people that come in her chat. I don't think they recognize who I am from, because I've changed my name so many times. Well, actually, I went from Stephen Lee Davis to just DragonZW to Ghost Dragons. I think people don't connect the other two with me. Those tall beans. That's something new for me, Ghost. I don't know what it is. And you're going to probably see more as time goes on. I'm not really sure what the tall ghosts are either. I call them ghosts, but they're like shadow figures, hooded figures. I've seen them in different forms. But you're seeing the hooded ones, right? And me and Patty are still having a conversation about those because I see them too. And I don't know if they're, and I know that when I see them, like you, Edna, it's always out of the corner of an eye or tagged to somebody. They're always for somebody else. I've never seen anything like that I knew that was there either for me or bugging me. Hooded gray, not black. Yes. Okay, that's where I made my mistake. I need to make sure that I tell her that they were gray. I'm supposed to talk to her again tomorrow. So, yeah, we've been checking in. We miss Thomas. Thomas moved to Nebraska. And I only get to talk to him maybe a couple times a week now. But we haven't talked to him since before my birthday. He called, I think it was Thursday before my birthday. And we three talked over the phone together, like conference calls. I told my old man that I was going to make a wheel and spin it, and you'll eat whatever it lands on. I'm about ready to do that with these guys. Where Dad's getting to the point now. Well, he'll eat anything you put in front of him, but now he's just not eating as much. I've noticed over maybe the past year, his portions are getting smaller and smaller. He's having a lot more stomach problems. But yeah, man, pretty much eat anything you put in front of him. But that's the military, that's the Marine in him. But yeah, and we're gonna have I'm gonna talk to her about that. Yeah, because I'm hoping I hear from Thomas before I talk to you too. I got to call into him, but he's been real busy because I want to ask him a couple questions too. But we're pretty much agreeing. If you're seeing him, and then with your granddaughter, who got what's going on with her, maybe all connected. But I don't think what you're seeing, those things you're seeing, the tall gray ones, hooded ones, I don't think they're for you. You're seeing them either in travel to somebody else, or waiting for somebody else, or waiting for something. I need some more details on how often you're seeing them too. If that's changed any. That's the only thing I hated about being a mom. What to fix for dinner? Yeah, now I know how my mom felt because there was 4 boys and dad, and we were picky. I was a picky eater. My other brothers not so much, but I was probably out of the 4 boys, I was probably the pickiest. Yeah, because you always told me, if you don't like what I have for dinner, you know where the cereal's at. You clean up your mess. Eat a bowl of cereal and shut up. But you're going to eat something. But my eating habits changed so much. When I got married, I learned to eat a lot of stuff. And then when I got divorced, I learned to make a lot of stuff that I usually don't eat. But yeah, that was my mom's big thing. If you don't like what's on the table, go eat a bowl of cereal, but you better clean up afterwards. No dessert. If you eat cereal, that's dessert and dinner in one. I've heard her tell my brothers that many times, and me. If you eat cereal, you get no dessert because you're getting 2 in 1. It's like I found our homemade ice cream maker. So I think I'm going to make some homemade ice cream. I've been craving some homemade ice cream. We actually have an electric one. I'd rather have a crank one because it's more fun to exercise, stand there and crank it all day. It was hard cooking it is hard. When it was just me, it's hard. When you're cooking for one person, but I got smart about it. And I just went ahead and made make a full dinner. And I'd break it down in so I'd have something to eat during the week and I'd eat the leftovers. But when you're cooking for one and you don't want all those leftovers, it sucks. And cooking for 2 is just as hard. And then when you got 3 people, especially 3 men in the house, pretty much Giles is kind of picky. He's kind of like I was at his age, but he's coming out of it. But both those guys also have stomach problems, worse than I could ever have. And so they still eat everything they can eat, but it's funny. And my son will not eat leftovers. It cracks me up. I told I don't know why Giles won't eat leftovers. He brings them home, and then he never eats them. Yeah, especially if he don't eat leftovers. Yeah, he won't eat leftovers. He'd bring home lunch and stuff that they had at work, and he won't even eat it. He just tells us to eat it. Now, every so often he'll eat leftovers, but it's pretty rare. So I like cooking. Dad's easy to cook food because he's comfort food. It's like I'm getting ready to make a big pan of beans for him, bean soup for him. He'll be happy for days. I made meatloaf. We both wolfed that down. It turned out really good. The first time I tried to make meatloaf, somehow I screwed it up. Now, I don't know how you screw up meatloaf, but I did. But it was much better this time. Thanks for Gemma's mom and Gemma, actually. Both of them kind of corrected me on how to do it. And he wants me to learn how to make stuffed peppers. I would love to make him some stuffed peppers, and I know it's not hard. So I think I'm going to make him some stuffed peppers. I don't eat them, but I know he will. How many people in here like stuffed peppers? I want to make cabbage rolls for him too, because he loved cabbage rolls. Nobody makes that stuff for him anymore. Taught my kids everything I know. I'm proud. Yeah, my kids. Now, what's funny is I learned, my mom taught all us boys how to cook, but I was the one that really got, she likes to bake. My mom loved to bake cookies and stuff. Oh, at Christmas time, this house was heaven. I mean, you think of the cookie, any type of cookie, she probably made it. I mean, we literally had tens upon tens of cookies. We were giving them away even after Christmas. So I learned those. I can make a pretty good cake. I make a killer, what I call a cinnamon crunch cake. Basically, it's just a coffee cake in a big pan with a lot of extra on top. That's my favorite. That's the one that I make, and it's gone. I mean, I make a big flat pan of it, and it's literally gone. My youngest, his friends don't know how to do. Yeah, so I've run into that with some of my kids' friends. And Ashley, she's another one that's picked up on the baking. I like to cook, but I like to bake more. To be honest, my medicines must be kicking in my lips. Turn them right again. You don't like meatloaf? I don't mind meatloaf. I mean, I made it the other night. It was good. I was actually even proud of myself. Like, we made something that we hadn't seen. That's like my son doesn't eat sloppy joes. So one night I knew he was working late, so we had sloppy joes. I hadn't had sloppy joes for a while. I love making sloppy joes, especially from scratch. That's comfort food. Yeah, sloppy joes, meatloaf. Giles loves beef and noodles, so his mom makes him beef and noodles for his birthday, and he comes home with a big tub of beef noodles, so we've been living off of that. Bean soup. I'm not a big bean soup guy. Chicken and dumplings, I make that all the time. I make that in a crock pot, actually, Edna. Also made one called chicken mud that a friend taught me. We throw some chicken breasts in a crock pot, some butter, maybe some corn peppers on top of that to give it some extra kick. And you let that sit and let it cook. And then when that's all cooked, you take the chicken out, put in your noodles, leave everything in there, put in your noodles and all your whatever else you want to put in it. A couple cans of thick gravy, and then tear up your chicken and throw that in there and let that cook the rest of the day. I like the big wide noodles, so dumpling noodles. I love those. So that's what I use. And let it cook all day. Oh, it's so good. I like to make beef stew in the crock pot. Also make a good roast, Yankee roast. One time I think I put a little bit too much alcohol in it. And Dad's a little tipsy. But yeah, I'm gonna try to make him stuffed peppers because he likes stuffed peppers, and I would like to make him some cabbage rolls. So those two things I don't eat, making me hungry. Doesn't it sound good to? I love cornbread, so I'm gonna make him a big pan of cornbread. Just use rice instead of breadcrumbs in your meatloaf, and stuff it into the peppers. Oh, okay. Is that basically what you do? That sounds easy enough. Well, crap. I can do that. Yes, that's what I'm going to make you for dinner one night. Now, I'm not a big cabbage man, so I'm not going to get a big piece of cabbage, but I think I'm going to make him some cabbage rolls. See, what else did he want? He already likes my chicken and dumplings. Now, like I said, I make beef stew, and I want to make some hunter stew. I got a couple friends that go hunting that have some good, deer, and I think he said he had some deer and rabbit. That's what a hunter stew is, just when you start throwing everything into a big old stew pot and let it cook. I would like to make him some of that. Now I am getting hungry. Anybody else got any good ideas for dinners? Let's get quiet now. Everybody's going and getting snacks. You guys talking about food. Now I got to go eat some. That's not uncommon on this channel. We always end up seeming to talk about food, bacon. But yeah, he likes that comfort food stuff. There was something else I was going to make for him too that I never made before. His mom used to make. Now I got to think of what it was. I got a list in the kitchen, writing stuff down. We always end up talking about food. Always. I tell you that one night we were talking about food, man. I literally got off here, sat down and I chowed. It's like Giles, my son, cracked me up the other day. He goes, I don't do breakfast for dinner. I go, oh, he's another one. I said, I know a guy you would be buddies with, because Dave from SR hates when people talk about breakfast for dinner. My husband eats meat, potatoes, and gravy. Yes, that's his house. Basically, and tomato sauce. Okay. Now that sounds easy as pie. I can do that. I just didn't know. See, I don't eat them. I don't eat that. I don't eat stuffed peppers or cabbage rolls. So I knew it was kind of like a meatloaf. Somebody said it was kind of like sloppy joes too, but I'm like, don't you do anything special to make it different? I mean, like, it's like I told Giles, I said, it wasn't uncommon to have, like tuna casserole one night. I wish I hadn't made for a while, but mom made an excellent tuna casserole. Yeah, I heard that too, Cindy, that they're having a problem with that up in the Appalachian Mountains and along the south again, with these deer catching that, what do they call that thing, that disease they get and makes them look like zombies. It's awful, man. It is awful. I don't know what they call it, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, because they watch it real close here. Because that bothers me here. I mean, like I said, there's been a couple of nights I've woken up and there's like 20, 30 deer standing in the middle of our street. And this is like well, I mean, I literally have a cemetery and a forest and then a river. So, I mean, I get it, but there's not like a whole lot of forest where I'm at. So most of it runs along the river. Most of it runs along the river. I cut up onion, green peppers, use leftover rice and ketchup and an egg, mix it, stuff it in the pepper. That sounds easy enough. So basically, like what Cindy said, it's meatloaf without being packed together, shoved into a that's easy enough. I can do that. Thank you, ladies. Now, my dad loves pork rinds. I have a friend I can't get a hold of. He actually makes his own pork rinds. I'm trying to get a hold of him so I can get a bag for my dad, because he loves pork rinds. He can't do the barbecue, but he loves pork rinds. That's like he asked for okra the other day, fried okra. And I'm like, I don't do okra. Though we used to have it on the salad bar all the time at Bonanza and Ponderosa. And it always went like hotcakes. What does okra taste like? I never even had the guts to try it. Maybe I should now. What I like to make, it's one of my son's favorite. Actually, his mom used to make it. My ex used to make it, Tina. Get a big pan, throw in some fresh picked green beans, and then she would throw in a bunch of potatoes and then some bacon. Now, for him, she wouldn't put the pork in, but we'd probably throw in some diced pork. Sometimes, if it wasn't pork, I would throw in Spam or something and let it stew all day. Oh. And I usually make a big pot of it and take some of it and freeze it. I made a huge thing of homemade spaghetti that turned out really good, so I froze a big chunk of it. We've been hitting on that. I'll make some vegetable. I think I'm about due to make some vegetable soup, so I'll make some vegetable soup, split it up for the winter. I wish I knew how to can now. My ex can, but they didn't do the gardens like they used to. We used to have a garden, and then they had a garden when she remarried. So I'm not going to get my fresh green beans like I used to, because she used to give me 2 huge bags of green beans. And tomatoes out the wazoo. That's another thing I never had was fried tomatoes, especially green fried tomatoes. It just doesn't look good to me. Doesn't sound appealing to me. Happy to help. Yeah, you guys were a big help, actually. Yeah, I know canning's easy because she used to make a ton of stuff. Tina, my ex, she would take, you know how you get a ton of tomatoes, and she would grow, cherry tomatoes, the whole works, and we'd have tons. She would can and make her own spaghetti sauce, which was always really good. She made ketchup, which is always really good, but she would can a bunch of that stuff. You don't like okra? So I never tried it because it just didn't look appealing to me, but I'll tell you what, that stuff always went like hotcakes on the salad bar. The deep fried and just regular okra. Yeah, but I know canning I'd like to do, but I just don't have the setup for it. Now, Mom still has one of the big canning pots, but I don't know where the rest of the stuff is at. Because my mom used to can in the day. But it's probably a good thing to know. Especially now that people are canning stuff now. I know that stuff is selling, that those canning stuff to do canning is selling like hotcakes. So you know a lot of people prepping. That's always nice to have your own fresh product. I know when we go to the food, when I go up to the farm market in the fall, there's a bunch of people that have canned goods that they do, and I always grab a couple. Now, I'm hoping the guy that there's a guy up there that sells honey. Really good stuff. A little steep in the price. But man, his honey is probably some of the best honey. I don't know why it's so different from everybody else, but it's always so good. So I want to get a couple things of honey too. Yeah, I was gonna do that one day, and Josh was like, "Don't put beef stew in there. Don't put beef stew in there." I know what you're talking. Beef cubes. And I'm like, "Why?" He goes, I just want the potatoes and the bacon." And then when so what I do is I make a big pot. I take a big bowl of it out with just the bacon and the potatoes for him, and then like I say with the rest of it, I either throw ham in or Spam in. Just me and Dad still like our Spam. See, that's the best way to do it, Edna. And I wish I had a better setup here to do that. And the time. That's another thing. It's hard enough to get projects done because either I'm chasing after him, believe it or not, hanging with a 90-year-old man, sometimes like hanging with a 6-year-old or 7-year-old. They're trying to do things they know they shouldn't be doing. So, plus the projects I have around this house keeps me going quite a bit too. I'll tell you what, we had the fire thing. I hate to say this. The fire actually helped me out a lot because it got the garage fixed and took care of things I don't have to worry about in the garage and certain parts of the house. So it worked out. I hate to say that it took a disaster to get things fixed, but it was a big help. There's some of the things they fixed, they didn't do a very good job, and now I'm going back and fixing, like the bathroom. They redid all this paper. They took all the wallpaper off for us and recoated the walls. Well, that all started cracking on us. It's like, wow. So I had to go back and refix everything. Yeah, I think next time something like that happens, I'm going to be a little bit more picky about who comes in here and does the work and what they take out of my house and what they bring back. They kind of got screwed there too. So just a little warning, folks, if you have a habit like you folks down in Tennessee and stuff, when they come in and start taking stuff out of your house, be there when they do that, because they're going to tell you things that are not bad. They're going to throw them away, but actually you got things that are probably they shouldn't throw away. And they'll throw away if you're not there, or keep it for themselves, which like we think they did with a lot of my dad's tools. Find a canning pot and at a yard sale or something. I've got the canning pot. I just don't. I need all the hooks and stuff, and I probably can. There's yard sales around here all the time, and then we're in that season too. Always notice around here about fall. We also, I don't know if you guys do this in your neighborhoods or in your area. Here in Winton, we have this thing what they call Recycle Day, and what you do is on like a Saturday morning. They pick a Saturday morning. I think they do it. Now they're doing it twice in the spring and twice in the fall. But this time they have only done it once so far. And what they do is they call it Recycle Days, and anything you don't want, you put out on the sidewalk or out in your front yard, and people just come around and take it, and you leave it for the next person. And I've seen people put out some of the nicest stuff. I got mad because somebody actually put out one of those old roll top desks, and I went to go back to get it, and it was gone. I was so bummed because I couldn't fit it in the car I was driving. We had that today. Did you really? Yeah, I like that idea. I've actually got 2 monitors out there that I'm getting ready to check out from the one we had just the weekend. And they look like brand new monitors. And I'm like, why is somebody throwing this stuff away? But that's what they do. I like that idea. I think it's a great idea. I've been taking a mixed fruit bowl up to my brother every day. I'm hoping he gets tired of it. I hope he gets tired of it. If he's eating, if he's eating, that's a good thing. So there are places that do that. That's cool. We do a community yard sale, and then the weekend after they come pick up the stuff. That's a neat idea. Yeah, they just do this like twice. Last year they did it twice. Now this year I remember them doing it twice in the spring, and we missed the first time because what he does is what my dad likes to do is we drive around. We usually find pretty cool stuff. And you can't believe why people are throwing stuff away, but they do. But he likes to take the lawnmowers. People say, oh, my lawnmower don't work or anything. So they just go buy a new one. We grabs those lawnmowers, brings them home, and he fixes them. And he takes them over to Habitat for Humanity, and they resell them for a couple bucks. He just donates them, fixes them, and takes them over. We took at the beginning of spring, I think I took 6 lawnmowers that he got running, up and running really good. I mean, running better than they probably did when they first, and took them over there and donated them so somebody can pay $5 so they'd have a lawnmower to start with, And they sell. I've gone back and all the ones that he donated were gone. You do it just once a year. Oh, wow. You should tell them to do it twice a year. Yeah, I was surprised when they first started doing it here. That is a great idea, but they don't do the yard sale thing. They just tell people, okay, on this Saturday, we're going to have Recycle Day. And they put signs up everywhere, And it's amazing. You see all these people. It's like, like Memorial Day and Labor Day when you see all the yard sales and everybody's out driving around checking their yard sales out. It's better than that because I've actually seen people picking stuff up and saying, somebody go, I like that in the back of your truck. Can I have that? And you go, well, let's trade. But yeah, that's what he does. Well, my dad's a mechanic, keeps him busy. But now he just doesn't do it like he used to. He looked at a couple lawnmowers when we were out last time. He's like that because I want to bring them home, but I just don't have it in me anymore. And he used to work on people in the neighborhood would call or show up at the door with a lawnmower. Can you have Wayne look at this? Or can you give me a tune up? And he loved doing it. Especially after he retired, but it's just getting too hard for him now. He actually told somebody no because he fixed radiators for people because he's cheaper than taking it to like a repair. He was cheaper than taking it to a repair shop because he never asked for any money. But he had this one guy he was constantly fixing things for. And he'd come in and go, man, I told him I didn't have no money. And he gave me $100. I go, well, put it away, Dad. You got some spending money now. But the lawnmowers, yeah, I figured it's after I saw the great idea and I said what I said, I was, oh, she must be. Yeah, that's what he does. And it's good for him because it keeps his mind going. But he's got a lawnmower out there that he started about a month ago. And he was out there and he was just having a hard time. He goes, son, I think I'm going to have to stop. He wastes more than he eats. The fruit isn't. No, those fruit cups aren't cheap, man. I know. I get them from my dad. I get the ones at Kroger. They have the mixed fruits for like $5, and they're always fresh. Always check them too. I always check them before I buy. But no, yeah, and then that's his thing. I mean, he would find this stuff and donate them. He has got 2 weed eaters that we are working on that I'll probably take over to donate for Habitat for Humanity. And they have like a reused warehouse where people donate stuff and then people come and like some of your stores and stuff will donate like out of style sinks and stuff. They sell that stuff for real cheap for people to fix their houses and stuff. And sometimes you'll find brand, like furniture in there and stuff. But every time he's brought lawnmowers to him, I go back and they're gone. So, and they usually don't ask much for them. But yeah, he's got 2 weed eaters. The one I'm going to help him with because he's having a hard time getting the hose. All he has to do is put a new fuel hose on it. He's got the motor running like a babe. He's got an air pump downstairs, air compressor downstairs that he's working on that almost fixed. That I'll probably have him sell or take it and donate it for somebody. Yeah, everything is going electric these days. That's like one of the reasons he was kind of glad he retired from being a mechanic was the fact that he was having a hard time keeping up with all the new electronics, all the new digital stuff, all the computer chips that are now in cars. I mean, they're in bread trucks now. They're in semis now. So it makes it, for a while that they were sending him to school to keep him up to date. But he said, man, it's just getting so crazy. We got 2:54. We went to 3 again. Abner, you weren't supposed to let me go to 3 again. I said we'll go to 2:30 and it's now 3 o'clock. Then we're just rambling anyways. What gets me is they say he's out. He's too out of it to make medical decisions, but he was all right to sign it. Yeah, you need to watch that, Cindy, because they'll pull that crap. So just keep an eye on him about what he's signing and stuff. Yeah, it is almost 3. I didn't realize we were shooting time that fast again. This is another 3er. This time maybe we'll actually stop right at 3 because it's 5 till. Last time I think it was 5 after when we stopped 10 after last Wednesday. But that's fine. We're having a good time talking. That's what it's all about. People hanging out in the background. And once again, thank you folks for hanging. Yeah, just keep an eye on that, Cindy, and what you sign. Yeah, they'll pull that crap. Yes, you did it again, Cindy. You guys kept me up. You guys outlasted the guys this time. You did last time too. There was the guy. The guys showed up first, and then the women are the one that ended it. I'm sure a few guys are still hanging around the background. A couple of them, I think, hang out, but I know a lot of people just enjoy the chat. I appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody that's there. But you ladies and guys that come in here and hang out with me through these streams, I do appreciate it so much. I have such a good time. Even when we have a rough night with somebody, we have a pretty good time because even after that ended, we still ended up having a good night. So, and I really hope she's doing better. I'm sure she's watching. You guys keep me up till 3 o'clock. That's fine. I'd have been up anyways. But now I'm hungry, so now I got to go find something to eat, something to nibble on before I try to go to bed. Well, I'll end up eating, then I wait an hour. It's never good to go to bed with a full belly. That's when you have all your nightmares and have indigestion. You wake up and you think you're doing the old Christmas Carol with 3 ghosts because you ate the wrong spicy foods for the night. Get 3 ghosts to come to visit you. You know, if you don't understand a joke, that's one of the comments he makes. I have an upset stomach. I ate the wrong foods. That's why I'm seeing you guys. That sounds like, see, that's the thing with me. And that's what a lot of times I'll get done here. I'll go pace around the house and piddle around. Sometimes I actually clean and do work. And that's what I usually do when I don't stream is if I can't sleep, I'm cleaning and stuff, doing paperwork, maybe do some research for somebody if they need me to do anything. That's when I do all that stuff. That's when I do me stuff is at night because it's the only time I get me time most of the time. My youngest brother gave me the permission to put him on dialysis. Really? Does he need it? I'm taking he must need it. If they gave him permission, somebody gave him permission. But is he doing okay? Is he talking and kind of being aware? I mean, if you're taking fruit bowls, that can't be too bad. Is he eating it? I guess the question is he eating it? And is he eating most of it? That's probably my next question. Yeah, dialysis. I believe that's rough too. But if it's going to help him, let me call. I'll still be wide awake. Yeah, I'm going to be up for a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and call it, guys. Make it an even 3 o'clocker tonight since the ladies kept me up. Thank you so much. I do have blast with you guys, all of you, all through the night. Does he have the considerable? I can't even say it. Considerable. Yeah, I wouldn't do dad. I had one of my older brothers in case something happens. I don't want to make those decisions. I'll let you answer that question. When I tell everybody, please come back Tomorrow's an off day, but like I said, Gemma's got some plans for Monday, so keep an eye out for in your YouTube feed. Also, keep an eye on her community part of her channel in YouTube. I believe she's going to do something about start doing some spiritual things, and then she'll do like a video, and then she's going to do a live stream and allow you guys to ask questions and talk about what you just watched. I think is her plan. So we'll get more information as we get closer to Monday. So just keep an eye out for that. Tuesday talk at 1 p.m. Eastern time. It'll be just me, Gemma, and Ryan. And then I'll be here Wednesday night for spooky time. Pixie, I believe Pixie's is this Thursday. And if it's a go with her, she'll be here at 8 o'clock Thursday night. And then me and Gemma, or Gemma and I, for Friday night oracles. It's mostly Gemma. I just sit in the background. And I'm hoping to be in a better way than I was last Friday, because I've had a couple bad Fridays with her, and that kind of bums me out when I have a iffy time sitting there, because I know I don't look pretty. She's trying to be up chipper, and I'm like, hang in there, Steve, hang in there. Don't look so. Yeah. Wait. And then it's me, my brother. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that is a hard decision. He is very lucky to have you both. Very lucky. But and then I'll be here for Gemma's replay. So it's going to be a busy week. So just about something going on, I believe, every day this week with the channel. So please stay tuned. Keep your eyes open. Have a wonderful Sunday, folks. I love being here with you guys. Thank you for enjoying Gemma's replays with me. Spooky time. And then all the other times I'm around. So I will see you guys on the flip side. Have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. And I'll probably see you guys sometime in chat, probably Monday or Tuesday. Have a wonderful night, okay? Thanks to those who have hung out and ghosted. Thanks to those who watch replay. Thank you. If you can slide a donation to the channel, we could use it. It will help the channel and help Gemma quite a bit. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and post that in here at the end. Wait, why didn't it do that? I believe I still have it on there. Yes. Oops. 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and put this at the end here. And I'll say my good nights again. Folks, have a wonderful night. Be well. Be safe. And I'll see you guys on the